The city of Jacksonville knows how to celebrate, and the fans from the eastern seaboard to the Midwest are here to ring in 2009 and root on their teams. This New Year's Day bowl game is a celebration of Clemson and Nebraska and a fitting reward for their hard work all season long. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Brando. Happy New Year and welcome to the 64th Conoco Gator Bowl between Clemson and Nebraska. I'm joined as always by Spencer Tillman and Tony Barnhart. Fellas, the season appeared lost for Clemson at the halfway point, and look at where we are now, Tony.
Well, Timmy, back on October 13th, Clemson was a lost football team when Dabo Swinney took over as interim coach. Dabo Swinney tapped into something special. They won 5 out of the last 6, and here they are on New Year's Day. No matter what happens, this is a big day for Clemson.
I agree with that, and what a tremendous recovery effort by this Bo Pelini coach Nebraska Cornhusker team.
Yeah.
They come into this contest with a shot to win 9 games. What a great job in that year 1 of the recovery effort, but they'll coach with a heavy heart. He is defensive coordinator Carl. His brother lost their dad last week, so our thoughts and prayers will be with them.
Another game of interest in the Palmetto State is taking place with South Carolina and Iowa. This has been the story of the game. Steven Garcia returning home to Tampa, Tony.
No, it's really been a bad homecoming. 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble for him. Chris Melly starting the second half.
Sean Green takes advantage. That's the second touchdown of the day. Put them up 21.
They've had 13 turnovers in the last 3 games, 5 today. That's all for now. We'll see you at halftime. Coming up, Craig Bolerjack, Steve Berline, and Dan Fouts, Clemson and Nebraska, the 64th Conoco Gator Bowl.
Straight up the middle, has 5, has 10, has 15, touchdown!
He's into the end zone! Touchdown, Clemson! Touchdown, Nebraska!
Happy New Year from Jacksonville. It's been a festive week. Yesterday, the Gator Bowl rolled through downtown. Today, game time, and a sea of red and orange awaits Nebraska and Clemson. It's the Conoco Gator Bowl on CBS. From the Big 12, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. From the ACC, the Clemson Tigers. And hi everyone, Happy New Year to you. Craig Bolerjack, glad you're alongside here on CBS. Nebraska 8-4, won their final 3 games in a very tough Big 12 conference. How about Clemson? They survived a midseason coaching change, won their final 3 games, and both Nebraska and Clemson are here in Jacksonville for the 64th annual Gator Bowl. Alongside Steve Berline and the Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, we're glad you're with us. And Dan, Let's talk about Nebraska. Cornhuskers, one of the most potent offenses in the country, and the trigger man is their quarterback, and he's a good one, Joe Gans.
Yeah, the senior from Palos Heights, Illinois, told us yesterday it's been quite a journey for him this season. It's been a rough road at times, but it all concludes today after a great season. His numbers have been record-breaking for the Huskers, but more important than the numbers may be, two words best describe Gans: leader and competitor. To Gans, leadership means earning the respect of his teammates, and as far as being a competitor, he learned that from playing basketball with his dad Mike and his older brother Dan. It was just born in him. He has two great, outstanding wide receivers, seniors Todd Peterson and Nate Swift. Swift is the Huskers' all-time leading receiver. They call their offense the West Coast offense, spread for the running game and the West Coast for the passing game, and obviously Joe Gans is the key.
I'm glad you said it, not me. Let's bring in Steve Berline and talk about Clemson. Now, their offense is mighty good as well. Got a bite to it, not one, but two.
No doubt about it, Craig. Coach Dabo Swinney is hoping that he and his team brought with them the makings of the perfect storm today from South Carolina. That perfect storm including the big dose of thunder and lightning. Thunder being senior running back James Davis. He's the power runner. Today can set both the career rushing record and touchdown record for Clemson all time. C.J. Spiller, he's the lightning. Over 12 touchdowns of over 50 yards in his career. This guy has got speed, but don't think for a second they can only run the football. Cullen Harper, senior quarterback, playing much better the second half of the season, going to all day long the all-time leading receiver in the ACC, Aaron Kelly. They will be putting the ball up in the air as well. But defensively, I think is going to be a real interesting battle. Michael Hamlin leads one of the very best secondaries in the country, pass defense against that vaunted Nebraska pass offense. It's going to be a great matchup today.
Well, Clemson underwent a coaching change back in October. Tommy Bowden out, Dabo Swinney in. And moments ago, Swinney and his team shared a private moment.
We started this journey October 13th. We started this little journey. We sat down. Y'all remember we talked about what we could do. We didn't talk about what had happened. We talked about what we could do. We talked about what we had on the table. We set some goals. And at that time, October 13th, man, we were just hoping to make any bowl. It could have been the dang Sardine Bowl in East Boga, New Mexico. We'd have been fired up for it. But you know what? You guys learned a valuable lesson. You learned that when everybody comes together and you believe in something and you're purposeful about what you do, man, you can do great things. And so what did? We went out and we created momentum. We created excitement. We got all in. And the Gator Bowl said, we want Clemson. January 1, man, this is what you wanted. And here we are.
And the first week, there was just one chip on each player's chair. Today, 7 chips representing the win so far. And just moments ago in pregame warmups, the Tigers come together and march as one to the goal line. All in, the Clemson Tigers.
So we're set for the 64th annual Gator Bowl. Temperature at game time, 58 degrees. Wind could be a factor, gusting at times, 17 miles an hour. Forecast is called for partly cloudy. And this game is being brought to you in crystal clear CBS high definition. Nebraska 8-4, won their last 3 in a tough Big 12 conference, and Clemson guys 7-5. One of the surprises in the ACC, winning their final 3 ball games, and of course gaining the invitation to the Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville. Nebraska set to kick away. Adi Kanalik teed up at the 30-yard line, and we are underway into a brisk win. And this ball falls shy of the 10-yard line. Spiller up the middle, finds a hole at the 35-40. And Spiller runs his way to the 43-yard line. As we check the starting lineups, the quarterback for Clemson, Cullen Harper, will play his final game as a Clemson Tiger. 11 touchdowns and 12 interceptions on the season.
And right away, guys, we see the lightning in the formula for Clemson with C.J. Spiller coming out, giving his team great field position to take on this vaunted Nebraska front 7. Very physical, defensive football team.
And Steve, officially a 33-yard return. Clemson starts their first drive of the Gator Bowl. And a little dipsy-do. Harper lines up wide side. Now Spiller, by the way, has thrown a 15-yard touchdown to Tyler Grisham against Virginia this season.
Clemson.
And then Clemson
Their first
will call a
timeout of the
timeout,
half.
Dan. First one, 8 seconds into the football game.
Well, that's what happens with a little dipsy-do after New Year's Eve, Craig. You get a little confused even when you're trying to confuse your opponent.
Let's check out the starting lineups presented by Konica Minolta. Offensive line, it's a big story, hit hard by injuries. The center, Bobby Hutchinson, was a student assistant when the season started, came out of retirement to help out. And Aaron Kelly and Jacoby Ford are threats on the outside. Kelly has the height at 6'5", and Ford has the breakaway speed.
Dan, you mentioned the layoff before this bowl game. Coach Dabo Swinney got to be frustrated. He spent his whole bowl preparation probably setting up that first play, and to have to waste a timeout to open the game up, that shows what that long layoff can do to you.
Now they're going to switch it again. They talked about it. Let's go for it. Direct snap. Spiller in round. They're going to go to Harper. Rolling, looking downfield for the long ball. Tied up, incomplete. James Davis, the intended receiver. So after the timeout, they go back with the original play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. As we check out Nebraska, the Huskers up front defensively. Allen Steinkühler, Sue, and Potter. They've totaled 16.5 sacks. How about the linebackers? Well, they've suffered some injuries, but senior Tyler Wortman plays on. And the secondary is led by strong safety Larry Asante with 64 tackles on the season. 2nd down 10 from the shotgun. Harper rolls out, Chase down to the pocket and throws incomplete into the Clemson bench.
And you saw the pressure from that defensive line. 23.5 of their 30 sacks this year have come from the defensive line of Nebraska. And twice now they have forced incomplete passes. You can see the pressure right up the middle. And I think that maybe Harper ran out of this pocket a little too soon, don't you, Steve?
I agree 100%. There was no reason for him to scoot out to his right. All he did was run into more pressure. He could have stepped up and given his receivers a little bit more time to get open up the field.
We'll see Harper in shotgun most of the afternoon. 3rd down and 10. First minute here in the opening quarter in the Gator Bowl. Again, flush out of the pocket, throws over the middle, it's caught. Jacoby Ford breaks away and is popped at midfield, short of the first down. A pickup of 7 and a tough 7 yards for Ford. There's Bo Pelini, head coach of Nebraska, the rookie head coach, longtime defensive coordinator, once at Nebraska, Oklahoma, made a stop, a very successful stop at LSU.
And you talk about improvement made measurably this year. The defense for Nebraska under his guidance this year has improved in almost every single defensive category significantly. That's the effect. That's the Bo Pelini factor for sure.
And a little confusion on the Nebraska side of the ball. They call a timeout, so that evens up in a big hurry here in the first quarter.
Dan, does that go with the 4-week, 5-week layoff?
I think it does, but also a little bit of uncertainty as far as what you're going to see. You know, Clemson comes out with a trick play on their first play of the game, although I'm not so sure I would have called it after having called a timeout and shown Nebraska's defense that you're lining up in a different formation. They obviously were ready for the end-around pass, but now Nebraska thinking, well, hey, we've got to be careful. Clemson may use another trick play here. It's 4th and very short, and they do have a decided advantage as far as speed is concerned in this ball game.
I think also, Craig, what comes into play here is the emotional, the build up to this game. So much emotion, so much attention paid to it. Guys get a little bit excited. They maybe lose their focus a little bit, kind of distracts them, and always smart to call a timeout if you're not sure.
So back to punt, Jimmy Mainers, averaging just under 41 yards a kick. And back to receive is Swift at his own 10-yard line. Good kick, wind behind him. Swift's going to let this ball bounce into the end zone. Touchback at the 20-yard line. A 50-yard kick. A 50-yard kick. as we bring out Nebraska's quarterback, Joe Gans, the senior from Palos Heights, Illinois. And look at the career numbers, nearly 5,000 yards passing, 42 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. This season alone, 3,300 yards and 23 scores.
And one of the real telling thing about this West Coast passing offense of Nebraska, 18 different receivers have caught a pass this year, including Namakansu, the defensive tackle.
Another great point, too. 30 points or more in 15 of their last 17 games. They score a lot of points.
Option, and Clemson prepared. A loss of 2. Daquan Bowers the tackle. And Nebraska anchored by the right guard, Matt Slauson. Slauson makes his 35th career start today. We talk about Swift and Peterson. They catch a lot of footballs from Gans. Swift owns 21 career touchdowns. Second down and 13. Gans goes shotgun. Throws a slant across the middle. It's dropped incomplete at the 25-yard line. And Nate Swift unable to bring it in. Let's check out the Clemson Tigers on the defensive front. Darrell Scott, the lone senior for the Tigers. Linebackers, watch out. Always on the football. Cavell Connor averages over 9 tackles a game. And guys, the secondary is one of the best in the country, led by the all-ACC catback Michael Hamlin with 6 interceptions.
In fact, the 4 defensive back starters have 36 career interceptions. So Gans is going to be tested throwing the ball today.
Clemson showing blitz. By the way, Nebraska has scored only 1 time this season on their opening possession. It was against Missouri, a touchdown. Gans on the rollout is caught around the shoe tops by the tight end McNeil, out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
Well, this is a very fast, very experienced Clemson defense, and I'm really excited about this matchup all day long. You do not see Nebraska going 3 and out very often at all. Right away, this Clemson defense, very disciplined, very well coached. They come out playing with confidence, and they force Nebraska to punt on their first drive.
Well, Dan Tetchner is in to punt away, averaging just under 40 yards a kick, and he will be punting into a brisk wind of about 20 miles an hour. And C.J. Spiller is set to return. Good snap, line drive, boot on the way. Drives Spiller back inside his own 35-yard line, stops and goes. At the 30, pops to the 35, 40! Oh, a terrific return through Nebraska's coverage to the 41. A 43-yard kick and an 8-yard return. We're coming back to the Gator Bowl next on CBS.
My name's Joe Gans, I'm quarterback for the University of Nebraska. My New Year's resolution is to not put too much trust in the Chicago Cubs and thinking they're going to win the World Series. Happy holidays, Husker Nation.
Well, 3 plays on their first time on the field, 7 yards. Nebraska had it 3 plays, picked up 4. Clemson starts their second drive at the 41-yard line. Chad Deal, the fullback, goes in motion. Up the middle goes Davis. And Steve Berline, James Davis will wear you down. C.J. Spiller is the breakaway threat. He's the Lightning, and Davis is the Thunder.
And Davis, a senior, Spiller a junior, but Davis today, 112 yards and 2 touchdowns is all he needs to become the all-time leader in Clemson in both categories. But yeah, he is the power. He likes to wear down a defense. And this, by the way, Nebraska defense does not substitute a lot. That's an area Coach Dabo Swinney really wants to take advantage of.
4 wide receiver set, 3 set to the near side. Again, they hand off to Davis. It's a fumble on the ground, but recovered at the 40-yard line.
Looked like Ty Steinkühler got the first pop on Davis, and they don't fumble very often.
In fact, Dan, can you believe that? Only 2 fumbles coming in today with 793 career carries by James Davis.
Well, that's not very often.
No, and we talked to James Davis about this yesterday, and amazingly, we talked about how his statistic of only 2 fumbles in his career is almost impossible to comprehend. And then today, one of his first carries, that ball's on the ground. We tried to knock on wood not to jinx him, but Fortunately, his own teammate recovered the ball.
Yeah, Mason Cloy covered up in the pocket, fires a dart, incomplete. Harper was going for Aaron Kelly, a big target at 6'5", the senior out of Marietta, Georgia. So again, Clemson will punt the ball away for the second time.
And they will waste an outstanding field position for the second time. 6 plays that they've run from near midfield and not been able to get anything out of it except a couple of punts.
And one of the things on that last play, Dan, Colin Harper does not look real comfortable to me in there. He kind of made his mind up to go up the field, I think. He had James Davis underneath coverage, pretty much wide open, could have easily picked up the first down.
Maynard's first punt went 50 yards. Good high hanger. And taken and then dropped. Nate Swift. Oh, he took a chance. Held on at the 17, a 42-yard kick. No return. We'll be back to Jacksonville after this. And back in Jacksonville, guys, you look at the Big 12 Thunder, the Big 12 quarterbacks this season. Of course, Bradford getting all the publicity. Why not? Oklahoma, 68%, 4,500 yards passing, 48-yard touchdowns. You got Chase Daniels from Missouri on that list. One player missing, though. Not a lot of love for Joe Gantz from Nebraska, guys.
But he's a perfect fit for this offense. Sean Watson, offensive coordinators. The thing about Joe is he can manage the offense for us. And by that, we hear that term a lot, but it means just getting the personnel correct, getting the snap count to everybody, the kill system as far as the audibles are concerned, the line of scrimmage. And so what Gans is like, you hear again the term coach on the field. Well, that's what he is. He's an extension of Sean Watson, but he's also a very good athlete, can run the ball from this spread, and obviously can deal it to a bunch of different receivers. But the thing that concerns me is what Steve talked about in that first drive is the speed and quickness of Clemson's defense right now really has the advantage over this big offensive line at Nebraska.
I agree 100%, Craig. And when you talk about the numbers that Joe Gans has put up this year, though, any other conference, and he's the guy everybody's talking about, absolutely amazing the numbers put up in that Big 12 conference this year.
Hello, Jr. The ball carrier taken back, Daquan Bowers. Defensive end, and the freshman from Bamberg, South Carolina, knocks Helu down for a 2-yard loss.
You're going to see him right there, yeah, and he's on the right side of your screen. Watch him get up in there and use that big physical body just to throw away that offensive tackle and jump on top of the running back, making the tackle for about a yard loss.
19 years old is Daquan Bowers.
And speaking of running backs, he was a running back in high school, 1,200 yards last year as a senior. And on the defensive side, 37 sacks. He was a do-it-all player in Bamberg. Boy, nothing doing. Clemson's front line hammering their way against Nebraska's front.
Well, and they're not doing anything too crazy on the defensive side of the ball. What they're doing is just playing more physical, more aggressively right now than this Nebraska offense is. They're bringing it to them. Nebraska not used to getting off course. We talked to both David Blackwell, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, and Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator for Nebraska. They are so good at staying on schedule and in non-obvious situations. They're not used to this third and long stuff.
4 wide receivers set for Gans, 3 loaded up near side. From the shotgun, low snap, Gans pedals back, good protection, up over the top, he goes! Oh, what a catch at the 45-yard line, Todd Peterson.
That's what you get from senior wide receivers Swift and Peterson. Peterson used every bit of his 6'4" reach to get up and get this one right down the middle, Steve, and gets that cover 2.
You're right, then. Watch right here. The safety coming over the top. That's Chris Clemens. He's got a chance to make a play on this ball or at least make a big hit, but watch, his break is a little late, and he goes for the ball instead of going for the hit. Letting Nate Swift get up there and make that, Todd Peterson get up there and make that catch. Really shouldn't have been completed, in my opinion.
Incomplete. What a smack down at the 39-yard line.
Trying to throw the bubble screen, and let's hear this one. Listen to the bubble pop. Yeah, I'm not sure that's not pass interference. He hit him before the ball got there, but it's behind the line of scrimmage. Totally legal. Great reaction by Chris Chancellor.
Chris Chancellor with the big play, and I'm not so sure, Dan, that ball was not a lateral. That ball was very close to going backwards. If anything, it was straight down the line, but I saw it happen. I thought it might very well have been a live ball.
Well, if it's straight down the line, it's considered a forward pass.
Exactly, but I thought it might have been a little bit backwards, but it was close enough to where the question entered my mind. I'm sure it wasn't a lateral.
Just check it out. As you can see, the swing by Halu and the hit by Chancellor seemed to be forward by about a half a yard.
Definitely did.
Second down and 10. Jump up front. No call. Gans switches things up at the line. Helu finally with some positive yards after taking that shot back at the 40. And Helu picks up about 3 to the 48-yard line. And Michael Hamlin, the cat back with the tackle.
You think that Chris Chancellor said, hello?
I'm thinking Helu was thinking he was wishing that was all he said.
Goodbye, baby.
Yes.
Helu had a terrific end of the season. The final 4 games picked up 510 yards, and he worked his way into the starting lineup here.
Yeah, replacing a pretty good running back in Marlon Lucky. Over 100 yards 3 straight times.
Gans flush out of the pocket and complete. DeAndre McDaniel pressured Joe Gans, and you look at the last 4 games, 18 carries for 128 yards. And rushing touchdowns 5. So yeah, he took away the starting job from Marlon Lucky, and we'll still see Quentin Castile as well today.
That's right. Halu is the slasher, and Quentin Castile at 235 is the thumper. Everybody's got nicknames today.
Jacoby Ford deep to receive for Clemson.
First punt by Tetchner was 43 yards. Low snap. And a good boot into the wind. Drives back to Jacoby Ford. Up again. Tries to turn the corner and ridden out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Well, after a bit of a shaky start, we're seeing some hitting. Here in Jacksonville, the Gator Bowl, Nebraska, Clemson on CBS. Welcome back. Fun week here in Jacksonville. The Gator Bowl scoreless between Nebraska and Clemson, the Big 12 against the ACC.
And we see lightning in the backfield back there for the first time. C.J. Spiller.
Clemson starts their 3rd drive at the 10-yard line. 8:12 to play, opening quarter. And now we're set to play. Spiller, the junior from Lake Butler, Florida. Just down the road from Jacksonville. Setting up, down he goes, Harper at the 1-yard line, and Ty Steinkuhler rumbles in for the sack.
Second big play for Steinkuhler. He forced a fumble last possession, but number 43, battling against Thomas Austin, left guard, just takes the inside away from Austin and almost comes up with a safety.
And that's not a slouch he's beating right there. That's Thomas Austin, as you said, Dan, 3 times ACC Offensive Lineman of the Week. That shows you how good Mr. Steinkuhler is up front. 13 very close to being a safety there, Craig.
Let's see, 13 sacks a year ago by Nebraska. That was number 31. Clemson trying to run out of the end zone. C.J. Spiller, maybe a yard or 2 to the 3, the 4-yard line, and Steinkuhler is there for the stop.
He's starting to look a little bit like his daddy, isn't he, with plays back-to-back?
That is the name that so many Nebraska people can remember so clearly from the Fumblerooski way back when. And that's him. That is probably, if you look and check the record book, that's his only carry of his career. Dean Steinkuhler in the 1984 Orange Bowl. That went for a touchdown.
And maybe the most famous, the Fumblerooski Orange Bowl. 6:48 clock running. 3rd down and 17. Quick hitter across the middle. The slant. Ford breaks it. Watch out. 30 at the 40. And Jacoby Ford with that terrific breakaway speed gives Clemson plenty of breathing room.
And you could almost sense that he was going to run right through that tackle at the end. You're going to see Jacoby Ford right here, going to come through, just run a slant. That ball's going to hit him right on the money. Cullen Harper doing a good job seeing the blitz, getting rid of the ball. And Jacoby Ford, by the way, you talk about lightning. This guy's a world-class sprinter. When he gets that ball in his hands with open field, it will scare the heck out of you if you're a Nebraska defensive player.
Ford's 60-meter time is 6.52. Ball is tipped and dropped and nearly picked off by Nebraska.
Xavier Dye with the drop pass that time, but you know, a missed tackle by Ricky Tenarce on that slant route, or it's a they're bringing out the punt team.
Exactly right. And we talked about earlier, Dan, this Nebraska defense does not sub, and the only way that Clemson's going to be able to accomplish one of their main goals today, to get them tired out, to wear them down, is to convert some first downs. If you keep letting them come on the field fresh, you're going to have a hard time beating them today. You've got to convert, make some first downs. That was a big play for Clemson.
Mike Palmer, the tight end, in motion, swinging out far side. It's grabbed by Ford and is bumped out of bounds right at midfield. Well, go to CBSSports.com for complete coverage of the bowl season. You'll find the latest news, analysis of every matchup, video previews, and live scoring game centers. It's all online at CBSSports.com.
Now, one way that Clemson will try to wear down the Nebraska defensive line is with screen passes and play action.
Nebraska gives up over 235 yards a game through the air on the defensive side. Shotgun, Harper sets the feet, throws across the middle. Fairburn, number 83, the senior from Duluth to Georgia, is tackled down near the first down marker.
And that time right there, Cullen Harper doing a great job standing in the pocket under some pressure. Zach Potter was coming off the edge, and there was some good penetration.
And the chains move.
Chains move. Good pass by Cullen Harper, standing strong in there.
That's Fairbur's third catch of the year, and what a great effort to get the first down, because he didn't have it until he was tackled.
Well, this drive stays alive thanks to that 46-yard grab by Jacoby Ford. That pass covered 8. There's a pump, a throw, and a slant. Incomplete across the middle. Tyler Grisham. So Grisham with 36 catches on the season. We talk a lot about Kelly. We talk a lot about Ford. But the third man in that rotation for Cullen Harper, guys, is number 13.
And perhaps Dabo Swinney's favorite player. He brought him into our meeting the other day, gave him a big hug, and said, "This is my guy."
Showed him off almost like he was one of his own sons.
Teacher's pet.
Senior out of Birmingham, Alabama. 5:25 to play, opening quarter. Set up the screen, far side is caught. Nebraska not fooled. Spiller with the grab, but for the third time, we're mentioning Ty Steinkuhler everywhere.
You're going to see Steinkuhler. Here he is again right here. Watch, he does a great job of sniffing this out. We talked about the screens. Dan mentioned Dabo Swinney said that was going to be a big part of the game plan, but boy, if Nebraska keeps adjusting and reacting as well as they are, getting to the football, you might get Dabo Swinney away from that train of thought.
Third down and 9. Shotgun, Harper. Long snap count. Two-step drop, fires a strike, and is caught leaning out, trying to grab another yard or two is Kelly.
You know, a lot of times you're asking your defensive end to do this. Check out Zach Potter this time as he takes C.J. Spiller out of the backfield. Now this is a mismatch, Steve, I think. You got Spiller who runs like the lightning, and big old Zach Potter doing a great job with pass defense.
And by the way, though, you had C.J. Spiller on the wheel route going down the sideline. If Cullen Harper might have wanted to take a chance, that might have been a good matchup to try and exploit down the field.
Oh, I think so.
Fourth down and 1, timeout called. And a timeout, Nebraska. Clemson 7 of 18 on fourth downs this season. Well, Sunday, the NFL on CBS puts on the AFC wildcard game. Ray Lewis and the Ravens battling Chad Pennington and the Dolphins. It all begins with a special playoff edition of the NFL Today. And more people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. Dan, Steve, we break it down for you. Of course, Miami, one of the big stories. What a comeback turnaround by the Dolphins. They'll be at home against Baltimore, the Colts, and the Chargers. And the lowest seed then goes on to play Tennessee, and the highest seed moves on to play the second seed, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And right now, Miami and San Diego look pretty tough.
Well, but, you know, I read somewhere in the paper today or on the internet that all 4 of the road teams in this weekend's game are favored. So that in the NFL, you know, a little bit of parity, but that is very unusual. But it's playing hot at the end of the year, as a lot of those teams are.
I don't know which one of those teams scares me the most. They're all pretty scary the way they're playing right now. San Diego riding the winning streak, but nobody's hotter than the Indianapolis Colts. That's going to be a great football game. But then on the other side, Baltimore-Miami, a rematch earlier in the season, a game that I covered where Baltimore really took it to Miami pretty strongly, but Miami's a different team now. They are a different team, but I'll tell you what, going up against that Baltimore Ravens defense, they are so good. I'd have a hard time picking anybody over them right now.
And Ray Lewis really has not lost a step. I mean, this guy's been around forever, but still with the intensity he brings, that should be a dandy football game.
It continues to amaze. Number 52 for Baltimore. Keeps on doing it year after year.
10th play of this drive, 4th and 1. 4:06 to play. They put Deal now right behind Harper. Palmer in motion at tight end. They're going to go with the legs of James Davis.
Didn't get it.
And short. They'll mark him at the 31-yard line. Needed to get to about the 30.5.
Yep, and you're going with thunder. That's exactly what everybody in the stadium knew Dabo Swinney would probably do. A lot of confidence in his offensive line, going right behind Thomas Austin, that left guard. Against Mr. Ty Steinkuhler again, right over the top, and it looks like Nebraska may have won that battle as well.
It was interesting. One of the lines judges came from the far side of the field, and they marked it a little bit different than the referee on the near side of the field. Dabo Swinney not happy about the mark he got, and we'll see why.
Well, if you could read lips, you could say, "Are you kidding me?" And he's going to be short by a football.
Nebraska ball.
Nebraska holds. And will take over at the 31-yard line.
So again, Clemson can't take advantage of field position after the 46-yarder to Ford out to midfield. Their offense sputters and dies on 4th down.
A picture-perfect day, and Jacksonville. MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage. Look for more aerials as MetLife teams up with CBS throughout the new year. And CBS will bring you a new game show that asks people to pump themselves. How far are they willing to go? Game show in my head. It premieres Saturday on CBS, America's most watched network. Scoreless between Nebraska and Clemson. Tigers with 16 offensive plays. Time of possession, guys, nearly 6.5 minutes here in the opening quarter. Still over 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, this is an area, Craig, where Nebraska usually dominates. They are one of the very best in the country at possessing the football. Time of possession only twice in the last 15 games have they been on the short end of the stick as far as that goes.
On first down, play action, Gans has the ability to break a pocket down and runs out of trouble. And picks up 3 yards. Daquan Bowers and a host of Clemson Tigers brought him down. But Gans told us, listen, if I can't do it with my arm, one positive I do know I can run out of trouble.
They're really searching for plays that will be successful against this Clemson speed and quickness. They usually win on first down. They stay on schedule. But right now, Nebraska not having any success winning on first downs.
And I'll tell you what, number 93, Daquan Powers, is an impressive-looking athlete. The way he closed down and made that tackle.
Play action, set up a screen, middle screen, and it's cut by Marlon Lucky. and fights his way past the 40. They're going to mark Lucky down at the 41-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, Clemson very lucky for this man being right here. This play was set up very nicely. Was going to be for a lot more yardage if Marlon Lucky didn't run into that referee. There was a nice seam coming up in there. I'm not sure that Chris Clemens would have been able to come over and make that tackle had not Lucky run into that referee. Very unlucky.
23rd reception for Marlon Lucky on the season.
But he did pick up the first down, and it's good to see Lucky in the lineup. We're going to see 3 running backs for Nebraska. We've seen Hello, Lucky, and Quentin Castile will be the short yardage running back, but you're right, Steve, that was unfortunate or unlucky for the Huskers.
1st and 10, Nebraska at the 41-yard line. Play action rolling out. Up top goes Gantz, and that ball flutters into the Nebraska sideline.
Well, it seems as though Clemson's got Nebraska's number all the way across the board right now. You're going to see some great hitting against the run right there. Daquan Bowers knocking him down right in his tracks. And then, again, everybody, just seems like everything Nebraska's trying to do, the big hit on the screen pass right there, everything Nebraska's trying to do today, Clemson is beating him to the punch. Nebraska has not been able to answer the speed of Clemson to this point.
And Nebraska 5 carries, just 3 yards so far. Rolling out Gans, pressure from the backside. Gans steps up, fires, incomplete. And that was Niles Paul, the intended receiver. And again, pressure, Darrell Scott from his nose guard spot. And the big number 97 carrying those 310 pounds. Pretty fleet-footed big fella.
Yeah, it looks like the Nebraska offensive line's pitching a no-hitter so far, but this is why. This is an outstanding defense. David Blackwell and Ron West, the interim co-defensive coordinators, have got to be very pleased with the way their unit's playing in this first quarter. They've just dominated.
I know, I'm very impressed. You're talking about a Nebraska offense that no one has really been able to find a solution to stop all year long.
So timeout on the field. Well, we wish you a very happy new year from all of us at CBS Sports, America's most watched network. 2009. And it came in with a bang here in Jacksonville, Dan. Last night, what a fireworks show at the strike at 12.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I didn't hear it, though. I wasn't up that late. I know you were.
Oh, yeah.
You were out there with the revelers and having a great time.
How could you not hear that? You could almost throw a football. You probably still could. Far enough to hit where they were shooting those fireworks off from our hotel.
Yeah, it sounded like the war zone there for a while, that's for sure. Beautiful scene at the Jacksonville landing last night.
Nebraska breaks the huddle, 2:21. And the Huskers surprisingly using all 3 timeouts here in the opening quarter.
That's not what Bo Pelini had in mind, I guarantee you that, to burn all 3 of his timeouts in the first quarter.
3rd down and 10, Huskers at their own 41-yard line. Shotgun, Joe Gans. Pedals back, sets up the screen. Caught, Lucky. Stiff arms his way around the corner and is bumped out of bounds at about the 43. And again, Clemson, led by Daquan Bowers, pressuring the quarterback. And Clemens, a free safety with the tackle on Lucky.
Yeah, a real good scheme that time. A 4-man rush. They went with 6 defensive backs and then added a linebacker to the pass pressure. And again, Gans forced to throw on the run, and now has just completed 3 of 9 here in the first quarter.
An amazing closing speed for this Clemson defense. When they see the ball in the air, they close the gap. Split second. It's impressive to watch.
Dixner, another fine kick into the wind. Spiller at the 19. Spiller stops and goes. Stops and goes again at the 20. In trouble. Breaks the tackle. Trying to turn the big corner at the 25. To the 30. To the 40. Spiller. 45. Spiller at the 50. Can you believe that return?
Steve, you called him lightning. That was like a lightning bolt, all jagged. great desire, pinned against the sidelines. How many does he make miss? There's 2. That's a swipe across the forehead. That's 3. Now on the near sideline, makes 4 and 5 miss. Cuts back to the middle of the field here, and he's not satisfied. He made the whole team miss.
There were 2 or 3 guys that missed 2 or 3 tackles on that play. And if I hadn't seen him do that repeatedly during the course of the season, I would have been surprised, but not surprised. And his teammates, they know what he's capable of. They keep flying around trying to make blocks for him.
38-yard punt and a 33-yard return. Right up the middle goes Davis, so they come back with thunder. Well, Red Lobster presents today's Scholar Athlete, and it happens to be C.J. Spiller, Sociology, Dean's List this semester, a career GPA of over 3.0, and Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Clemson's General Scholarship Fund.
And he's got a 4.0 on punt returns here in the first quarter.
He sure does. A minute to play, opening quarter. No score, but back and forth we go. This time Nebraska wraps up Davis, and it's the weak side linebacker Blake Lawrence with the tackle. Davis, by the way, a big happy birthday. 23rd birthday for James Davis.
Well, we all know what he wants for his birthday, a nice Gator Bowl win to end this career. But what he also mentioned would be nice would be to get, about 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. He said that'd be a nice little bonus package.
3rd down and short. Davis alone back. There's pressure, and it looked like Steinkuhler made contact with Bobby Hutchinson, the center. We'll hear Jack Wood.
Offside. Defense number 43. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Steve, this is a Pac-10 crew, and Steinkuhler, that's the first penalty whistle today on either side.
Yeah, that happens oftentimes when there's a guy in motion. Those defensive linemen see movement out of their corner of their eye, and Steinkuhler trying to get a jump on the center. Hutchinson gets flagged for it.
Well, Dan, you know so well that first step, that initial reaction is where a play is either won or lost as far as the physical battle up front. Steinkuhler very quick and explosive off the ball, a little too early that time.
Clemson spreads the offense, handoff Davis, breaks the tackle to the 23-yard line. That ends the quarter, and Clemson is on the move. Scoreless after 1. We'll return to Jacksonville after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the Conica Minolta Gator Bowl only on CBS. A scoreless first quarter after 15 minutes here at the Gator Bowl. Nebraska taking on Clemson. Craig Bolerjack, Steve Berline, the Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. We knew Nebraska, guys, a power team, a strong team, a good offensive team. We knew also, Steve, that Clemson shows a lot of speed. Even though it's scoreless, I think right now we're looking at speeds beating the power.
Yeah, we think about the Big 12 and the power of Nebraska, the big offensive line and defensive line. Well, their feet appear to be stuck in the mud right now. Clemson just running around them on both sides of the ball.
Well, and this game right now is going exactly the way the Clemson Tigers would like it to go. They're only giving up 16.6 points a game. This is a team that really relies on their defense, their speed, and they seem to be a step ahead of the game, both sides of the ball right now, putting together a great drive offensively. If you're liking Clemson, you're feeling pretty good right now.
You look at total yards in that opening quarter, 85 yards of total offense for the Tigers, only 46 for Nebraska. Spiller takes it right at the heart of Nebraska.
Well, that's 2 straight runs right at the heart of Nebraska, and 2 of them have gone for 9 and 10 yards. First it was Davis, this time it's Spiller, so they're feeling pretty good up front about Clemson's ability to pound the ball straight at this Nebraska defense.
And this is an area where you'd think that Nebraska would have the advantage with that tough front seven. We see the red zone numbers right there. Clemson not a very successful team in general as far as coming away with touchdowns. Only about 58% of the time they come away with touchdowns.
1st and 10 at the 12-yard line of Nebraska. Harper on the pitch. Bouncing outside, Spiller, and is taken down after a pickup of 1. There's a flag, late flag on the far side.
That's a horse collar tackle, and so it'll be half the distance against Nebraska. But you can hardly blame Murillo for the tackle. If he doesn't make it, it's a touchdown.
Defense number 6, horse collar tackle. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Well, you're going to see Armando Murillo come in from the side, and Dan, you're right. If you don't watch out with C.J. Spiller, if he gets to that edge, it is a touchdown. Murillo doing the only thing he could do, and probably when you ask the coach, they probably say, you know what, we'd rather take the penalty than give up the touchdown for sure. Fortunately, C.J. Spiller did not get hurt. That's the reason for the penalty, is the fact that the running back or the person with the football goes down in such an awkward position. That's why they've got to call that penalty.
Clemson with a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line of Nebraska. Under center goes Harper. Dylan Davis in the backfield, and they give the ball to Davis. Pushes his way to the 4. And Colton Kohler, the middle linebacker, junior out of Harvard, Nebraska. There he is, number 54 with the tackle.
Yeah, Harvard, Nebraska, a small town, less than 1,000 people in Nebraska. And when he first came to the team, defensive coordinator Carl Pelini said, "You transferred in from Harvard?" No, Coach, I'm from Harvard, Nebraska.
Well, the reason Bo Pelini asked him, too, he did not seem to be picking up one of the concepts, and he said, "Are you sure you're from Harvard?" No, Harvard, Nebraska, not that Harvard.
Davis goes in motion, sets up top of your screen. 2nd down goal. Harper pumps, looks, chased out of the pocket. In trouble, tries to turn the corner. Little push pass, and it's incomplete.
Well, he's lucky that little push pass wasn't picked off by Anthony West. But again, it's finally, after really good pass protection for Harper, the Cornhuskers get after him and chase him to the left side of the field. Makes it a very difficult throw and a real gamble here.
You're right, Dan, and that ball very easily could have been tapped back into the field of play as well, and someone else coming that way pursuing might have been able to catch that football and in the drive, a very promising drive for the Clemson Tiger offense.
8th play of this drive, 3rd down and goal, just inside the 5-yard line from the shotgun. Harper steps up, flags are down.
False start on Landon Walker.
Down goes Harper, but yeah, multiple flags are down.
Harper sacked by Steinberger.
Interesting formation that time. Did you notice that both Davis and Spiller were in the backfield with Harper?
And we'll get the call now from Jack Wood, the referee, this crew out of the Pac-10.
Prior to the snap, false start, offensive left tackle, 5-yard penalty, down remains 3. Please reset the clock to 13:08. Thank you.
Well, actually, that's probably a good thing for Clemson. The fact that Colin Harper got sacked on that play, they get another shot at it. You see what Nebraska's done this year in the red zone. Kind of an average number for a defense. They'd like to keep that number down in the low 50s to be considered pretty solid in the red zone.
Well, 3rd down and goal. The penalty pushes Clemson back just inside the 10-yard line. Shotgun, Harper takes the snap. 2-step drop, throws a dart far sideline. It's caught. Kelly pushes his way to the 2-yard line. Kelly, I'll tell you, what a big target, Dan. 6'5", 190, and 61 receptions on the season for Aaron Kelly.
But did you notice how Murillo was playing off Kelly, knowing that at 6'5", that the fade is a good route to run down here, but very difficult to run against a cornerback who's 6 yards off. That's why they threw the hitch in front of him, and a solid tackle by Murillo kept Kelly out of the end zone.
And you know what? That's exactly what Murillo was supposed to do. Give up that short pass, come up and make the tackle. They had a blitz coming. Great open field tackle by Murillo.
And Mark Buchholz. Blocked! The 20-yard attempt is knocked down.
Nabakin Sue, the young man from Portland, Oregon, born in the Cameroon, the best player on this Nebraska defense, comes up with a huge play to deny Clemson a field goal.
Well, I'm not so sure that Buchholz, it just seemed like that ball came out kind of low to me. I don't know.
You know, you're right, Steve, because it looked like Sue might have blocked it with his elbow and not his hand. Number 93 getting up in the air. Well, he's 6'4", but this is a weird-looking kick.
Look at the follow-through, too. That he barely even followed through after he hit the ball. That ball never got up the way it's supposed to be. And Pelini, of course, and his staff, his team, very excited. Well, maybe Bo Pelini not too excited, but Nebraska excited.
Ndamukong Suh, University of Nebraska, defensive tackle. My New Year's resolution is speak to my family every day and go Husker Nation.
And Ndamukong Suh, 6'4", 300-pounder, a first-team All-Big 12 selection. Why not? 68 tackles coming into this game, 5.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. A junior out of Portland, Oregon.
Those 2 interceptions, Craig, he returned both of them for touchdowns.
And also caught a touchdown pass.
And you know what his name means? Ndamukong means House of Spears. And we're not talking Brittany. Saw that coming, did you?
Oh, yes.
Did I telegraph another one?
I never saw it coming. I should have seen it coming, Dan. I didn't see it.
12:22 to play in the opening half. The 64th Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville, matching Nebraska and Clemson, the Cornhuskers, at the 20-yard line. And from the shotgun is Gans. Hellu trying to bounce outside and is dropped for about a 2-yard loss at the 18-yard line. Butler, the cornerback, with the tackle.
They're just not going to make anything going wide, especially if the play is designed to go inside. The speed and quickness and pursuit of Clemson right now just overpowering.
You know, you look at this matchup, Clemson is ranked 15th in the country in total defense, under 295 yards. They give up per game to their opponent. Then you look at the offensive stats of Nebraska. They rank 12th in the country in total offense at nearly 460 yards a game.
That's the beauty of this matchup, and it really is a testament to how well David Blackwell has prepared this team, this whole Clemson staff.
Gans runs out of the pocket, tucks, and falls to the 23-yard line. And you pick up 3. Gans tackled by Chavis and Alexander.
Well, look at this Nebraska offense, what they've done the last 4 games. I mean, they're used to scoring. Look at that right there, 42 points a game. They've really had it clicking lately, well over 200 yards rushing. We know they can throw the football, but that last play right there, Dan, I was watching, we had the great view. Not one receiver was even close to being open.
One of the best secondaries in the country. The Clemson Tigers, 18 interceptions on the season. That's 9th best. When the shotgun is Gans. Incomplete at the 31-yard line. Peterson, the intended receiver.
Well, you saw me circle Peterson before the snap there. That was because one of the big fears that David Blackwell, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, one of the co-defensive coordinators, told us in our meeting was when Nebraska goes to that 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers to one side, you got a single receiver backside. They like to go to that backside receiver, which they did right there. Todd Peterson would like to have another shot at that ball. He should have caught it.
Titchener on the field for his 4th punt of the day, averaging just over 40 yards a boot. And Jacoby Ford settling down at the 40-yard line. Wind behind his back. That's a line drive shot. Ford at the 39. Ford at the 50. Breaks the tackle and leans out to the 42-yard line. And again, Clemson guys setting themselves up in fine field position. A 38-yard kick and a 20-yard return. Back to Jacksonville after this. Back in Jacksonville, Gator Bowl, Nebraska, Clemson tied with 10:34 to play in the first half, and flying high above, MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage of the game down below in a sellout crowd of red and orange. And let's take a look now at the Home Depot tools for success.
Defensively for Nebraska, they've kept Clemson off the scoreboard, and have allowed only 103 total yardage, and it's been the defensive tackles. Here's Ty Steinkuhler with a forced fumble here in the first quarter, and then he gets the only sack of the game. Almost picks up a safety, then his buddy right next to him. And Ndamukong Suh with the right hand denies Mark Buckholtz the field goal. 0-0 our score.
I think that block was almost with his armpit more so than his hand.
You look at the first 4 possessions by Clemson. They start at their own 43, punt, then a punt at the 41. They start deep at the 10. They break out 58 yards, but gave it up on downs. And then that last possession ended with that blocked field goal.
Well, and again, right now, starting at the Nebraska 41, with the exception of the one drive that started at the 10, Clemson has had a tremendous edge with field position all day.
Harper steps up in the pocket, slings it out. Oh, through the hands, Jacoby Ford.
You know who was covering Jacoby Ford? The closest Husker to him was Ty Steinkuhler. Again, very creative defense by Carl Pelini.
2nd down, 10.
The defensive coordinator for the Black Shirts.
Fortunately, Steinkuhler was wedged between Cole and Harper, and he couldn't get that nice, easy, clean throw. His touch was not very good throwing on the move there. That's what made that ball hard to catch for Jacoby Ford.
2 wide receivers, top of your screen, handed off, spinning. Davis, senior out of Atlanta, hit by Anthony West. Well, James Davis came in, 11 touchdowns on the season, and Dan and Steve, I tell you, a good carry per average and nearly 5 yards every time he touches the football. And he will wear you down.
That is what he does best. This guy is a brute. Anybody that's played against Clemson the last several years, they know this guy is going north and south. When you ask him to describe his running style, that's what he says. Hey, I go north and south, baby. That's it.
Harper dancing, chased, and then throws a wobbler into the Nebraska bench.
But again, you know, he's reverting back to what he did to start the game, Steve. Not hanging in the pocket, finding a receiver. I mean, that was just a 4-man rush. It wasn't a lot of pressure from Nebraska. And Harper running out of the pocket, being chased by Suh, had to throw it away.
Well, Dan, you and I, both pocket passers in our prime, we like to sit in that pocket. And you see the protection Colin Harper's getting, and you wonder why he keeps escaping out to that right side into pressure. It's not helping him. If he stands in that pocket with no pressure, one of those receivers is going to come open.
Now the pocket's where all the money is, isn't it?
That's it. Exactly right.
High snap and a bad kick. Maynard's off the side of its foot, but he's getting a big Clemson bounce inside the 15, still rolling down to the 12-yard line. Oh, Clemson catches a break, and Nebraska will have the football when we come back. A 27-yard kick. Second quarter in Jacksonville.
Cullen Harper, quarterback from Clemson University, 5th-year senior from Alpharetta, Georgia. My New Year's resolution is to start the new year off with a big win. And I want to wish everybody back from Clemson Happy New Year.
9:28 to play, second quarter, scoreless between Nebraska and Clemson. And speaking of Nebraska, we talked about Clemson's first 4 possessions. 20-yard line, 18 at the 32 at their own 20. And Dan, Steve, this drive will start at their own 12-yard line. 4 straight punts. Can Nebraska's offense find the end zone?
Yeah, the big thing about their offense is they like to stay on schedule. You can get a couple, 5-6 yards on first down and stay ahead of the chains, and then convert on third down. But so far, third down is just 1 out of 5 after completing nearly 50% of third downs on the season.
Well, all things considered, though, if I'm Bo Pelini, with the field position edge that Clemson has had, to be stuck in a 0-0 game, you consider yourself pretty darn fortunate.
On first down, Gantz throws, pop across the middle, and leaning out for those extra yards to the 24. That catch is pulled down.
That's big number 18, Menelik Holton. He is a big guy. Looked like a tight end at first. He's 6'4", 220, lined up in the near slot and did a great job of catching a short pass and using that size to pick up the first down. A huge first down for the Huskers.
For a first down at the 24-yard line. Clock running up on 9 minutes of play in the first half. Hand off, Castile. Bangs, you hear those pads popping? to the 32-yard line. And a few extracurricular activities after the tackle. And coming up on the Geico halftime report, Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, and Tony Barnhart are here in Jacksonville. They'll get you caught up on all the scores and highlights and preview all the New Year's Day Bowl action. That's coming up on the Geico halftime report.
That was Castile's first carry of the day for 8 yards, and I was wondering when we would see him because Hello and Lucky not getting it done, but you bring in a bigger back in number 19, and he picks up 8 easily.
Yeah, go 6'1", 235, Lucky 215, and Hello 215. That ball is thrown away into the Clemson bench, incomplete.
Really smart play by Gans as he got immediate pressure from Kevin Alexander. Smart play by Gans to toss it away, but really good game planning by Clemson, knowing that the read option play fake from Gans was coming to the near side.
I'm really impressed with the discipline of this Clemson defense. There has not been one time today, and we see the films going in this game. Gans gets to the edge a lot on that read zone fake, coming out with the pass. He's not even had a chance to find anybody down the field today yet.
Gans just 5 of 12 for 55 yards passing. Shotgun on 3rd down and short. Fires a strike, incomplete, and through the hands of Holt.
Boy, and that's what pass pressure does to a quarterback. He had nobody around him, but the ghosts of passes past have got to him that time because he rushed that throw, had Holt open for the first down, but because of the pressure from Clemson all day long, he missed him.
Well, you're talking, Dan, as you mentioned earlier, about a team that converts 50% of their 3rd down conversions. Right there, that's as easy as it gets. Holt was wide open. Gans was not under any pressure, but you're right, his feet weren't set. He wasn't able to get that ball put on the money. Should have been an easy conversion for Nebraska.
And Titchener is back for his 5th punt of the day. The wind behind him. Gets it up and hangs it down to the 24-yard line, and no return for Spiller.
Outstanding punt by Titchener, forcing Spiller to the sidelines, and nothing he could do but his momentum take him out of bounds.
44-yard punt. And Saturday, women's basketball returns to CBS as LSU battles number 1 ranked UConn, or Minnesota takes on Illinois. Then 8th ranked Tennessee travels east to take on Rutgers. Then it's the men's turn as CBS continues on the road to the Final Four as North Carolina State takes on the Gators from Florida. That's Saturday right here on CBS. And of course, the Gators under Billy Donovan's direction, back-to-back national titles, trying to rebuild that Gator program. And Clemson on 1st down runs for maybe a yard. Spiller past the 25 to the 26 and knocked down by Sievers.
Good job by the Nebraska defense there. You saw Colin Harper fake that bubble screen out there to the right side and had the delay draw to C.J. Spiller trying to pop one back inside, but Nebraska stayed home, kept it to a very minimal gain.
You see Spiller's numbers, just 4 carries on the afternoon and 13 yards. Shotgun Clemson. Harper batted down, incomplete.
Big Zach Potter got up and knocked that one down. 6'7". Easy for him to get up and knock it down.
Now you look at all the Nebraska helmets, you'll see a sticker on it today with AP on it, and that is in remembrance of Anthony Pelini, 85-year-old father of Bo, and also his brother Carl. Mr. Pelini passed away December 23rd, and we send our best to the Pelini family.
Quite a guy, a World War II decorated hero, father of 8, grandfather of 26.
Tremendous influence on both of his sons and the whole family as well.
Play clock is down to 3. That ball is up high in the air, and Harper throws it into the Clemson bench. I don't know if that ball was deflected or not, coming off his hands, but a poorly thrown ball.
No, you know who was deflected was Colin Harper. He was hit very cleanly by Tyler Wortman with the pressure, hit him right in the rib cage. You're going to see it right here. Colin Harper had really no option but to get rid of this football. You see Wortman coming through right there. Boy, those are the kind that hurt us old quarterbacks, Dan. You get that exposed rib shot.
Yeah, he'll be feeling that in about 20 years, just like you.
Low snap. Mainers kicks it away. Into the wind. High hanger. Oh, great special teams tackle. Nate Swift I think for a moment thought he may have the first step. And Swift taken down at just outside the 25-yard line.
Just another example of again, the speed of Clemson and the very solid tackling they've had today. Nate Swift, I don't think he's used to that first guy making the play on him when he catches those punts. But today, very, very sure-handed tackling by the Clemson defense.
Well, the Youngstown connection. You know, the Pellinis and the Stoops from Youngstown, Dan. And boy, this is a tight group, and it's amazing. The brothers Pellini, the brothers Stoops all find themselves major players in college football.
Yeah, all products of Cardinal Mooney High School in Youngstown. And a lot of W's. Congratulations to Mike and to his brother Mark. They got that Arizona program turned around out in the Pac-10, won a bowl game for the first time in a long time for the Wildcats.
That Oklahoma program pretty good.
Is it? Yeah, I understand they're playing a big game coming up next week.
This guy right here has got a big one coming up next week. I know where I'll be on January 8th.
6.5 to play in the scoreless first half. And the 64th Gator Bowl. Low snap taken by Gans. Little option. Turns the corner. And Gans takes a hard shot down to the 34-yard line. DeAndre McDaniel and a host of Clemson Tigers in to stop Joe Gans.
Well, this is just a straight speed option from the gun. Nebraska runs it as well as anybody. You can see Joe Gans, he makes the right decision. Up the field, pressure was coming. And he decided to tuck it and get what he could get. A good solid 5-yard pickup for Joe Gans in the Nebraska offense. Now they've got the 3rd and 2 situation that they desire to be in.
Well, and they got to hurry now. They're up against the play clock. They have no timeouts now, and it's 3rd down and very makeable. Clock moves inside of 7 seconds.
Nebraska used all 3 of their timeouts in the opening quarter. Play clock down to 2, down to 1. Just got the snap away. Gans on the rollout, sets up, throws. It's caught. And Swift somehow in traffic makes the grab at the 40-yard line.
Michael Hamlin had a shot at picking this one off and taking it into the end zone.
And I don't know how Gans was able to roll out. Looks like he's got a lame right ankle.
Well, you're going to see the motion come across and out to the flat and then out to the flat this way. But the problem you're going to see initially on the snap when Joe Gans wants to throw it, these two are too close together right here. There's not a clear seam for him, but he does a good job buying time. Almost had that ball go the other way, but that time it worked in his favor. Got the ball in there for a good conversion on 3rd down.
18th consecutive game that Swift has caught a football from Joe Gans. Play clock again down to 1. Quick pitch, that ball's loose. It's up. It's into the hands of McDaniel. Touchdown, Clemson.
This is just another example. Right here is McDaniel. He comes up the field, makes Joe Gans pitch the ball, gets a hand on it, and then is athletic enough to pick that ball up and take it to the house. The speed of Clemson, again illustrated very clearly. Nebraska does not have an answer for it.
McDaniel with long arms at just 6'1", but running and just daring Castile to make the tackle before he got in the end zone.
Buchholz punches it up and through. 86 of 86 career point after attempts. And a moment ago, that ball is blocked down. It's fumbled, and DeAndre McDaniel scores the first touchdown of the Gator Bowl here in Jacksonville. Seven 0 Clemson over Nebraska. We'll be back on CBS.
Hi, everybody. Tim Brando coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. Spencer Tillman and Tony Barnhart will join me with scores, highlights, and previews of all the action going on this New Year's Day. Happy New Year to you all. And now let's get it back up to that talented trio anchored by Craig Bolerjack. Bowler?
All right, Timmy, thanks so much. 7-0. Clemson defense scores the first points here in the Gator Bowl. And McDaniel goes 28 yards off the Nebraska fumble.
Tremendous athletic play. McDaniel, not a big guy. 6'1", 200-pound sophomore, but boy, can he get up the field and is a tremendous athlete to be able to bat that ball and pick it up and take it for the score. I'm telling you guys, this game is going exactly the way Clemson wants it to go right now. Dabo Swinney's got to be pretty fired up.
Well, he asked his players after the coaching change midseason, are you all in? And oh, they're all in. All right. Buckholz. Boy, he drives this ball deep. Taking 1 yard deep is Niles Paul. Upended, still on his feet. Did his knee hit the ground? Yes, the official steps in and blows that play dead at the 21.
Now McDaniel's an undersized linebacker at the top of the screen there, but he's got the speed, and that's what the whole premise of this defense is based upon, is speed. You take a smaller guy, but you use his speed and great reaction, athletic ability, and you get yourself a quick 6.
And that's a great point, because really McDaniel has the size more of a free, strong safety at 6'1", 200. You put him on the edge, and boy, he can make some really disrupt the play. Swift and Peterson, the 2 wide receivers, top of your screen, 1st and 10, and Nebraska with the football down by 7. And they're going to stay on the ground and nothing doing. Clemson wraps up Castile. So all 3 backs, except for a run by Lucky. Nebraska not having any luck against Clemson's front.
Well, this is the read zone. The premise is based on definitely coming down and letting the defensive end come up the field. If he bites on the run, you pull it. If he doesn't, you give the ball. But you got to win with the down block from your left tackle, left guard. That's what the whole thing is based on. The right read was made that time by Joe Gans, but the inside blocking, the double team coming down was not very successful at all.
A loss of 1, 2nd down 11. Clock rolling up on 4 minutes to play in the first half. From the shotgun is Gans, looks one way, fires the other, straight across the middle, and the catch is grabbed by Paul at the 30-yard line. But boy, what a hit Gans took just after he released it.
Well, what a great job of finding a guy over the middle, looking to the right side, and at the last minute, looking back over the middle, and then for all his efforts, he's going to get drilled right in the chest. But he does find Paul before he gets the collision in the backfield, and now brings up again a 3rd down and short, something that the Huskers desperately need to convert.
Well, that was Daquan Bowers, the 19-year-old defensive end for Clemson. What a tremendous physical play, but not quite there quick enough to make a difference.
Nebraska 2 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. They'll make that now 3 of 8 as the ball goes to Castile, and he rips off big yards to the 39.
That's a power play. Pull the guard from the weak side. You get number 68 out in front. That is Keith Williams with a super block right there. Boy, he just KO'd the strong safety there. That's Chris Clemons coming up.
Yeah, Chris Clemons is wishing he never met Keith Williams. I guarantee you that right there. And then finishing it off with Quentin Castile running over the top. Good, strong physical play all around.
Nebraska picks up their 5th down of this first half. And the handoff again. Castile finds some running room, picks his way past midfield, and they'll mark him down at the 46-yard line.
And Chris Clemons,
Chris Clemons the tackle, and there's a flag down. Dan, you're right, at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and you wonder about Nebraska's offense. They get a couple of good running plays here, but this one is going to be holding against
offense number 67.
Their center, Jacob Hickman.
Replay 1st down.
And remember, Craig and Steve, Nebraska has no timeouts to run their hurry-up offense with. And their regular offense hasn't been very good either, especially in the running game, as that defensive line led by the true freshman, Daquan Bowers, just dominating the Husker offensive line.
Well, Castile, as we can see, the only one experiencing any success at all today of the Clemson running backs. Marlon Lucky has not had a chance to carry the ball yet, but Castile, they may have found something here going with that power game you were describing, Dan, getting that big body up in between the tackles. It seems to be fitting in pretty well right now.
And Castile has had success, most of the success right here on this drive. From the shotgun again, Gans fires a strike right on the numbers of Nate Swift. And Swift over the 40 to the 42-yard line.
That's really the great thing about Swift and Peterson, is they're very experienced as receivers. They're both seniors, but they give the quarterback a good target. That was really a sharp hook route by Swift, and the timing between the best friends, the receiver and the quarterback, Gans, was absolutely perfect.
Well, coming in today, Swift was the all-time leading receiver as far as receptions for Nebraska with 163. He only needed 36 yards today to become the all-time yardage leader as well. He's on his way.
Ball may have been deflected at the line of scrimmage. And that ball was tipped by Brandon Thompson, the freshman.
Boy, how's the future look for the Clemson defense with Brandon Thompson, a true freshman, 6'2", 315? Are you kidding me? Seeing what Bowers is doing.
Lined up next to Bowers, 6'4", 275.
I'll tell you, that's a scary left side. One's the nose guard, Bowers the defensive end, and this crowd now getting a little noisy on 3rd down and 6. A minute 42 to play. Nebraska down by 7 with the football late here in the first half. Gans sets up in a shotgun. 3-step drop, looking, puts it down. Turns the corner. On his back foot, throws. Caught!
You know, we talk about the attributes of Joe Gans earlier, leadership, competitor. This is what it's all about. Under duress there, now he gets his team to the line of scrimmage. They're going to go hurry up because they have to. Once the chains are set, the clock will run, but what a play by Gans.
That's the beauty of Joe Gans right there, using those feet, buying some time, making a play.
A pass play of 23 yards, 1st and 10.
And Craig, the chains on the far side of the field got all tangled up.
Nebraska catching a bit of a break with no timeouts remaining.
And it was on the Nebraska sidelines. You think there's a little monkey business going on over there?
So the chains tangled up.
You know, for years people have talked about how we got to get rid of those chains and join the 21st century. Get some lasers out there or something, but there's nothing quite like the drama of the chain gang and bringing it out for the measurement.
Sunday on 60 Minutes, they call him the mad scientist of football, Coach Mike Leach. So what are his tricks? Find out Sunday on 60 Minutes. Well, let's see what tricks Nebraska has up their sleeves.
Yeah, this would be huge for Nebraska to get some kind of points on the board. A little bit of production going in at halftime.
Gans sets up and throws, far sideline, incomplete. Mentally Colt, the intended receiver. That stops the clock now, 1:25 to play.
Well, this is how you earn the respect of your teammates, by making a huge play on a day where you're struggling and your whole offense is struggling. Look at him, runs out of that tackle, and that throw is phenomenal. Running to his left, getting his shoulders square to the line, and putting the ball on the money.
Well, you talked about his competitive nature. This is a kid that will keep coming at you all day long. You can hit him, you can knock him down, but Joe Gans is going to keep on getting up and coming back.
He found himself as a second stringer throughout most of his career until the final month of last season. And he's taken over from that point on. Castile on the pitch, out of bounds. And so Nebraska using the clock and the plays on the short side of the field. That stops the clock out of bounds with 1:20 to play.
Well, the perfect play call, as they had a blitz on the weak side here. And Castile very frustrated at the end of this that he doesn't get the corner and get into the end zone.
Well, I'm impressed they went back with that same speed option to the left side after they ended up giving Clemson a touchdown the last time they ran it. Shows you the consistency of Sean Watson.
Pressure's on, ball is up for grabs. Gans trying to grab it, and it falls incomplete. Boy, Clemson brought 7, 8, 9 players on that rush.
But you know what? The biggest play of the game from Nebraska's standpoint to this point right now was a play of Joe Gans right there. To see that ball up in the air, the little man, probably the smallest man out there, got up high, jumped, and knocked that ball down and kept Clemson from coming up with a drive-killing interception.
Yeah, it was a perfect set, and he spiked it for the winner.
Alex Henry is in to try a 48-yard field goal on the season, 14 of 17, and Henry has leg, hit a 57-yard kick against Colorado, and hits it from 48. Henry this season now 14 of 15 inside of 50. And that one went 48.
And a huge one last game out against Colorado when he hit 4 field goals that day. Got a little bit of a breeze behind him, and he just squeezes it in the right side. We go back to the crucial 57-yarder that Henry kicked against the Buffaloes. They had a conversation on the sidelines, and Bo Pelini went over and asked Addy Kanalik if he wanted to give it a try, and Kanalik said he'd pass. Henry looked him dead in the eye, says, "Coach, I can make it."
He said, "Coach, I've made that in warm-ups today."
And Coach says, "Well, that doesn't count, son. You've got to make it now."
But you know what? Bo Pelini told us in the meeting, he said if I was not convinced that he meant it, I would not let him go out there and try that kick from 57 yards. But he said he convinced me that he was going to make that kick, and sure enough, the kid came through.
Well, and I think part of that, Steve, is that he had already made 3 on the day, so he's feeling very good, very confident about his abilities, and it showed.
So Nebraska finds the scoreboard with 1:10 to play. The 48-yard field goal by Henry. Addy Kanalik set to kick. Big leg. No return. Nearly got it down to the end zone. Well, Sunday on CBS, it's a mystery for the new year on a new episode of Cold Case. Sunday on CBS, America's most watched network.
Boy, how big was that field goal? Just to give Nebraska a better feeling about themselves. Their defense has got to be happy. They haven't allowed any points today, but offensively they've struggled. That was really a well-designed and engineered drive by the Husker offense.
They got the running game going a little bit. Joe Gans made some plays in the passing game with his feet. Good solid drive to end the half for him, but now over a minute left for Clemson to go down the field here with 2 timeouts.
Harper, shotgun, ball batted down. Oh, picked off! That ball floated. Anthony West gives Nebraska a whole new life here late in the second quarter.
I was just going to say before the play, the worst thing that could happen right now would be for a turnover. Clemson's part. This is a tip ball, not necessarily Colin Harper's fault. But
Ty Steinkuhler again.
Ty Steinkuhler getting that big paw up there in the air. That left hand.
Boy, what a game he's having for the Huskers. Has forced a fumble, got us the only sack in the game, and now creates a turnover.
How huge is that for Nebraska now? Already, they're having a little bit of a mark off a penalty.
They're saying it's excessive celebration, perhaps after the interception, but it's Nebraska ball. But if you go back to the Colorado game, after the field goal by Henry, Zach Potter deflected a pass that was picked off by Ndamukong Suh. So that's something these guys are pretty good at, is getting their hands up in the air and creating turnovers.
Well, let's see if Joe Gans can capitalize with his offense here. Great field position, plenty of time left in the half.
But remember, no timeouts remaining for Nebraska. From the shotgun, Gans, quick throw. It's picked off! Butler, can he go the distance out of bounds? And he's pushed out by Gans. Well, back-to-back interceptions. Nebraska looks to be knocking on the front door. Now Clemson will have 54 seconds to find the end zone.
And Clemson came with the blitz, forced the quick throw to the outside. It was thrown late. It was thrown behind Niles Paul, but give Gans credit for making that tackle. Butler thinking touchdown all the way. What a huge turn of events for the Orange.
They're going to make Clemson at least earn the touchdown. They did with Joe Gans, as you said, doing a great job making the tackle, but what a tremendous play by Cresden Butler, setting up Joe Gans, knowing the blitz was coming, letting the receiver make his route, make his decision, and then jumping it 100% right on time.
59-yard return, Clemson. There's a pump, Harper, chase, tossed down at the 30-yard line. That's Ndamukong Suh. What a game he's had in the first half.
And what that sack does is that forces a longer field goal try if that's all the Tigers get out of this. But you can't hold the ball this long.
You really can't. He had plenty of time to see what was going on up the field. They were trying to go with a double move inside, and he needed the time to see it, but the Nebraska defense did not bite on it. Colin Harper, as soon as he saw that Ndamukong Suh flash in front of him, he's got to get that football out of there, avoid the big sack. 3 plays in a row, the quarterback has basically done the no-no. We see an interception, and now taking a sack. All of these done in the last minute of the first half. All of them big-time no-nos.
Under pressure today, sacked twice. He's been hurried 5 times. An emotional bench on the Clemson side of the field. Nebraska is huddled up. A 7-3 ball game. Yeah, low scoring, but Dan, Steve, I don't know. We've been involved in a lot of football games. But how about the action we've seen today? Big play after big play, but yet a low scoring first half.
And most of the big plays, 90% of them made by defenses. And how about Ndamukong Suh? He's the leading tackler, leading sacker. He's scored touchdowns, he's blocked field goals, and he's a defensive tackle. That is so rare to have a defensive tackle lead your defense in tackles.
It's just a testament to the kind of athlete this guy is.
Second down and 22. Cullen Harper sets up, wants the deep ball, goes up top, man coverage. Oh, caught in the end zone, Aaron Kelly.
Well, Dan, I don't know about you. When that ball was thrown, I thought it was thrown a little bit late to get it in the end zone. But for Cullen Harper and Aaron Kelly, they know each other so well. Aaron Kelly coming back and making the adjustment. I thought it was going to be too late to make the play.
The key word, adjustment. He had to turn a 360 behind Anthony West to make that grab. Super job by Aaron Kelly.
Buck Holtz keeps the streak alive. 87 consecutive point afters. And Aaron Kelly just became Clemson's all-time leader in receiving yards. And what a way to do it with a catch in the end zone.
Unbelievable. It could not have come at a better time for Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers. And you got to give Cullen Harper credit. The most important thing in a situation like this is to give the receiver a chance to make the play. The worst thing would be to throw the ball over him, out of bounds, somewhere like that. He gave his big 6'5" receiver a chance to go up and get this football, and what a great adjustment he made.
And give Anthony West a lot of credit. I mean, you can't cover any closer. He missed the ball by perhaps 5 inches.
That's the most.
He was trying to search for the ball. But that's that experience. You've got Harper, a senior, throwing to Kelly, a senior. They've probably done that type of thing many, many times in practice. Boy, did it pay off there.
Well, you talk about a punch in the gut, Craig, for the Nebraska team. Here they come up with the field goal, a good positive offensive drive. They get the big turnover deep in Clemson territory.
Give up the interception and then give up the touchdown.
Oh, you talk about going in on a high. Now it could not be any worse for Nebraska.
Clemson with a 14-3 lead over Big Red. 35 seconds to play. What a final 2 minutes of this first half here in Jacksonville. Buck Holtz tees it up at the 30-yard line. That ball hangs, taken on the run at the 15-yard line. That's Niles Paul, and driven down at the 24-yard line. So Nebraska back on offense, no timeouts, down 14-13 with 30 seconds to play in the half. And I don't think that Bo Pelini's going to have Gant throwing the football.
I would be very surprised in this situation. I mean, to go the distance right now with only 30 seconds on the clock, but then at the same time, you got a senior quarterback who has been one of the best in the country protecting the football all year. You hit 1 or 2 passes. The chains do stop in college to reset the chain, or the clock stops, I mean. You never know.
On a knee goes Gans.
You know, Gans has been beat up, he's been chased, he's been hounded. He's mentally confused right now after throwing that interception, and Clemson riding a huge high going into halftime.
Final seconds will tick off here. Clemson up by a 14-3 count. And Bo Pelini to the locker room. That ends the first half. With the score, Clemson 14, Nebraska 3. Coming up, Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, and Tony Barnhart. We'll be back with the Geico Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local. Halftime in Jacksonville, Clemson 14, Nebraska 3. Craig Bullerjack back along with Steve Berline and the Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Guys, a scoreless first quarter. Things warmed up. courtesy of the turnover, and Clemson scores 14 points off the 2 giveaways by the Huskers.
And who would have ever thought that Nebraska gained more yardage in that first half than Clemson did? But it's those turnovers that have been the difference. And Nebraska's got it done up front with their defensive line tandem of Ty Steinkuhler and Ndamukong Suh. Watch Suh come in here, block that field goal, a relative chip shot from 20 yards out. And then on this play, it's going to be Steinkuhler coming in and bringing down Harper almost into the end zone. Great pursuit by number 43, also had a deflected pass in the first quarter.
Well, for Clemson, though, Craig, it's been a story of defense all the way. Right there, you see DeAndre McDaniel deflecting the pitch and then taking it in himself for the first touchdown of the game. And then right here at the end of the first half, Joe Gantz, bad decision. Cresden Butler jumping that thing like he knew it was coming and taking it down, setting up the final touchdown of the second half, or the first half for the Clemson Tigers, hitting Aaron Kelly for the big touchdown right at the end of the half to get back and get Clemson in control of this ball game.
Let's look now at the halftime trends presented by Taco Bell. Nebraska, 25 carries, Dan, 103 receiving yards, 2 sacks, a blocked field goal by the Nebraska defense. Thunder and lightning, by the way. Davis and Spiller, 8 rushes for Davis, 23 yards. Spiller with 88 total yards of offense.
And not much running success for Nebraska either. Only 25 yards gained by the trio of running backs, Lucky, Helu, and Castile.
There's Joe Gantz, and he'll set to start the third quarter. Huskers will have the football, down by a count of 14-3.
Well, I'd be anxious to see how this Nebraska team comes out to start this second half. I'm sure Bo Pelini and his staff really got on their team and said, hey, what does it mean to you? Come out and start this second half right. Play Nebraska football like we've been playing the whole second half of the season, and let's see if we can reestablish control of this ball game.
So Mark Buchholz will kick away from the 30-yard line, third quarter, 64th annual Gator Bowl. And Clemson with the lead of 14-3. Engelzak kick to the corner, taken on the run at the 15-yard line. Coming around the corner. And out of bounds goes Deinard, Alfonso Deinard.
He came up with a good catch at about the 15-yard line as that ball hung up in the wind, and then he sees this opening to the near side and turns on the Jets. Just too many Tigers there, and they push him out of bounds. But excellent field position to start your second half.
Now you look at the first half possessions, 5 straight punts, then a fumble, the field goal, and then the interception that Clemson turned in to a touchdown.
Those two right there, the fumble, the interception, that led directly to the 14 points. One on the actual fumble recovery. The next one led to Aaron Kelly's big touchdown catch.
On the option. Boy, Gantz sold it.
I think half the stadium here thought that Gantz had given the ball up, but he kept it. Fortunately for Clemson, they did not all bite on that fake. And
he comes up limping a little bit. He was shaken up in that first half.
Yeah, he's got something on his right leg, too. It appears to be a sleeve of some type. And after this good fake, the reaction time of Clemson, just too much for Gantz to overcome.
And a pickup of 2, second down and 8. First minute of the third quarter, play action. Gantz steps up, goes man coverage downfield. Caught! Todd Peterson reached up at 6'4" and made the grab. First and 10 Huskers at the 16-yard line.
Well, the best thing that Joe Gantz can do right now, you got to understand this Clemson defense, they know how to cover people, but you got to give your guys a chance to make a play. He put that ball up, and Dan, as you know, it was great coverage, but the ball was put in the right spot. Joe Gantz realized that a back shoulder throw would give the big Todd Peterson a chance to make the play.
Yeah, neither Peterson or Swift are going to run by anybody. Smart throw by Gantz.
10 of 22 now for Joe Gantz. Shotgun, first down, Nebraska. Quick flip far side, Niles Paul. And boy, the Tigers and Huskers are popping pads here in Jacksonville.
Boy, Butler with great reaction there, playing the far side, the boundary side. Saw him with his reaction on the interception at the end of the first half. He came up very quickly to keep Paul from a big gain.
And you know what continues to impress me about this Clemson defense is the solid open field tackling. I mean, they're not tripping people up and dragging them down by shoestrings. They're coming up and hitting people solidly.
There's the red zone.
Here comes a blitz.
57 possessions, 40 touchdowns for the Huskers on the season, and nothing doing. That was just slow motion. That was slow motion. DeAndre McDaniel, one of the big heroes in the first half, slid right in, made the tackle.
Amazing. You're going to see right here, McDaniel's going to come right through the gap. No one even attempts to pick him up, and he hits Quentin Castile in the backfield for about a 3 or 4 yard loss. When there's a man threatening the gap, you've got to figure that it's either the quarterback's responsibility to get out of that play, or one of the offensive linemen has to make the adjustment to make sure that guy does not get in the backfield untouched.
And Nebraska 4 of 10 on third down conversions. This will be 3rd and 11. Clemson showing the blitz. Gantz goes up top, man, coverage, end zone. Touchdown, Swift.
Incredible throw and even better catch by Swift. We saw Kelly do it at the end of the first half. Check out this adjustment and stretch for this pass by Nate Swift. On the fingertips, left foot was in, touchdown Nebraska.
I'll tell you what, he had no more room at all to get that other foot in. I mean, that left foot was solidly in. The question, in my opinion, was whether he had clear possession of the ball, but no doubt about it, a great catch, throw and catch by Nate Swift and Joe Gantz.
And the extra point from Alex Henry, 55 of 56 on the season. And it's Gantz right on the fingertips, pulled down by Nate Swift, his 10th touchdown of the season. And Nebraska, on their first possession of the third quarter, closes the gap to 4. Five plays, 54 yards, and 2:36 off the clock. And Swift with the touchdown grab of 17 yards. And for the season, Swift now with 10 touchdown catches, and it's a 14-10 Clemson lead.
Yeah, you look at Nate Swift and you see the type of receiver you might want to forecast his future. He's got the ability to make catches like that we just saw, but also work over the middle, a lot like a Wes Welker or Brandon Stokely. I had a guy by the name of Charlie Joyner who worked his magic over the middle all the way to Canton, Ohio. But that's the type of receiver I think that Swift can become. He's just got all the tools, and what an effort to make that catch.
There's always room for a guy that can make the big play, find the soft spot in the defense, have speed to hurt you when he gets the opportunity. Swift is one of those guys.
Spiller takes a knee 5 yards deep. And time for the Aflac trivia question. And Dabo Swinney is an Alabama grad. What other Alabama graduates have been head coaches at Clemson? We'll give you a few plays to chew on that.
There's a few of them.
I know Clemson fans know all of them. And Nebraska fans could care less.
How about that quick strike by Nebraska? 18th touchdown drive of the season of 5 or fewer plays.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Coming out to start the third quarter. We'll see what Clemson has up their sleeve. Up by 4. They'll keep it on the ground. The Spiller driven back. And now you see that emotion carrying over to Nebraska's front line. First half for the Clemson Tigers, punt, gave it up on downs, the blocked field goal, and then back-to-back punts. And then Dan and Steve, things happen. The 2 turnovers by Nebraska, and the Tigers went in for touchdowns.
And getting back to Nebraska's drive, you know, Gantz threw the interception to Butler at the end of the first half. Who did he attack on the 2 big plays to Peterson and Swift? He went right back to Butler.
That's confidence. And right there you can see what a quick score by the offense can do for a team. It can energize a team. This defense is coming hard right now.
Harper able to unload under pressure. Stop and go is Spiller. And Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, all dressed in white. Drop down, Spiller led by Eric Haig.
You know, Steve, you talked about maybe Bo Pelini was a little excited in the locker room. I think we're seeing how excited he was and how he got his message across, perhaps.
It's very obvious that he got the message across somehow. Ndamukong Suh obviously played very, very well in the first half. But Bo Pelini, his Chargers are out there playing very hard right now, off the emotion generated by him in the locker room and the offense on that first drive.
Huskers jump.
Dead ball. Illegal snap. Offense, number 55.
That's Bobby Hutchins.
5-yard penalty.
So Nebraska
Remains third
teed up.
down.
Nebraska teed up. Hutchins gave it a little bit of a twitch, and off they go. Well, tonight on CBS, don't miss the hit drama 11th Hour from executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer. That's tonight on CBS, America's most watched network.
Yeah, that was Bobby Hutchinson, the player coach, if you will, with the false snap.
You know, 7 different starting lineups up front. And Dan, the last 4 straight games, they've been able to start the same 5, so they're getting some consistency back. 3rd down and 17. Shotgun is Harper. Good protection. Pocket breaks down. Harper rolls. Sets up and fires. That ball nearly intercepted on the sideline. Incomplete.
You know, Bobby Hutchinson, Craig, wanted to be a graduate assistant this year, and because of injuries and the experiment to move Thomas Austin over to left guard, they inserted Hutchinson as he comes limping off the field just a little bit. Biggest problem was him getting in shape, and it seems like he's still working on that.
I tell you, Dan, the biggest probably plus was the fact that at the time, Tommy Bowden kept Hutchinson on the 85-man scholarship roster, which allowed him to come back despite his so-called retirement. Another line drive, kick, that ball's on the ground. Clemson covers up at the 45. That's the danger. You get the line drive, you run up on it, and you got to make sure you bring it in.
Well, if Clemson does come up with this football, and it appears that it's going to be that way. There you go, officially. You see a brilliant decision in theory to come up and make a play and try and catch this ball on the run, but if you lose your focus for a split second, that ball's on the ground. Now, Nebraska, a team that works so hard to get the momentum in this ball game, they come out, their defense does a great job, 3 and out, to stop Clemson forcing the punt. They're going to get great field position, and then one bad decision or badly executed play, and now Clemson's back in control with the momentum again.
Chad Deal covered up, great special teams hustle, and Clemson back with a football. 3rd quarter, 10:22 to play. Tigers with the 4-point lead. Harper up top. Contact, catch is still made, flags are down. But what a grab by C.J. Spiller. Anthony West gave him a bump. Spiller came down with it.
It looked like he caught it with one hand. It kind of stuck in his elbow. Great adjustment to the ball by Spiller coming out of the backfield. And it's going to be pass interference against Nebraska.
Pass interference.
Refuse for sure.
Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
There are not many times you're going to see a quarterback giving a running back a chance one-on-one up the field against a corner. As a quarterback, Dan, you and I know that that's not a matchup you generally look for on the football field, but when you got the speed and the playmaking ability of C.J. Spiller, I guess you give him a chance.
Well, I'm not sure why they're taking the 15 yards on this and not taking the reception there. Are they saying he did not catch this ball? He was juggling it, bobbling it as he went down, apparently.
Well, that's a good question, Dan, because Spiller's arguing that same question. No, so he did not have possession, but they give him the 15 after the penalty.
Bill Richardson is the instant replay official from the Pac-10, and now they stop the game to take a further look at that last play.
Is under review.
And this is what Richardson is be looking for upstairs. Yeah, good call. Good call. It did hit the ground, and he did not control it all the way down. Heck of an effort by C.J. Spiller. So it will be 15-yard penalty. The ball be at the 41-yard line.
not much to review here, I wouldn't think. You know, that ball clearly incomplete. Just a tremendous effort by C.J. Spiller to get back and have a chance at it, but you can see that ball clearly.
Ball was down
control.
off the hip. He tried to sell it. I mean, great
The
sell
ruling
job
on the
by
field
Spiller.
is confirmed. The pass was incomplete.
So incomplete for the first down now at the 41-yard line in Nebraska. Spiller takes a knee. He'll get a rest, but not for long. 1st and 10, Tigers at the Husker 41. Deal, the fullback, goes in motion. And now Harper's going to change it up and now calls time. Did not like the Nebraska defense and the play they had called, so Harper will walk to the sideline.
She'll be immediate timeout.
So the first time out here in the 3rd quarter. Taken by Clemson. 10-14 to play in the 3rd at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. Back in Jacksonville, the 64th annual Gator Bowl, and it's a 14-10 Clemson lead. Time for the Aflac trivia question and answer. And guys, Dabo Swinney is an Alabama grad. What other Alabama graduates have been head coaches at Clemson? Well, I've got the answer. Frank Howard, Hootie Ingram, Charlie Pell, and Danny Ford.
Danny Ford, obviously the architect behind the national championship, the only national championship in the history of Clemson.
Well, Howard in the day, 165 wins. There's Ford with 96 victories for Clemson.
That is amazing that all 4 of these coaches, along with Dabo Swinney from the University of Alabama.
And Swinney just 39 years young. Wide receiver coach, and then an assistant head coach named back in 07 under Tommy Bowden. Up top, man. Oh, right on the button. Touchdown, Jacoby Ford. Could not have thrown a better ball. Cullen Harper.
There was a moment there where Ford was even with both safeties. And then he exploded, accelerated at about the 5-yard line and chased this ball down. It appeared it might have been overthrown, but when you run a 10-200 meters, you're never overthrown.
Well, and didn't you get the feeling when talking to Dabo Swinney that he really was going to come out at some point and give Jacoby Ford a chance to show those wheels? They had the perfect play called at the perfect time, and boy, was that well executed.
Buck Colts splits the uprights. You know, Ford has that 10-2 speed. He goes the 60-meter and 6'5". And Dan, you're right. That's a totally different speed on the final 10 yards. 41-yard touchdown. Clemson up by 11. In Jacksonville, it's Clemson 21, Nebraska 10. And time now for the playbook presented by the Hartford.
Well, Craig, we talked about how they had the perfect play called, Clemson did against Nebraska. You're going to see Larry Asante right here and Armando Murillo right here. They're playing quarters defense, and what's going to happen is you're going to get a vertical press by the tight end and a play-action fake. That holds Larry Asante, and then Armando Murillo believes he has help inside from his safety, but the play fake and the vertical release by the tight end allowed our good buddy Jacoby Ford to get behind the safety, and once he got even with him, Dan, as you said, it's all over. That kid, once he's even with you, he's going to run away and separate, and that ball was thrown perfectly by Cullen Harper.
Now, points off turnovers. 3 giveaways by Nebraska, and Clemson has scored all 21 off the 3 turnovers by the Cornhuskers.
And it appeared that Nebraska was going to get the momentum after a 3-and-out defensive stop, the muff punt by Niles Paul, and Clemson going for the jugular with that bomb to Ford to turn this thing into a near rout.
Over 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Buchholz, strong leg, back at the goal line. Niles Paul picks it up, 15. finds a seam at the 20. Still on his feet and pushes the pile up to the 25-yard line. So Joe Gantz buckles up and is ready to return for Nebraska. And then you have to think in a game like this that you have to make the quick hit again, or at least position yourself for that long drive and answer Clemson.
They're not going to be able to run the ball against Clemson. They haven't been able to do it in the first half. Their only success has been throwing the ball and giving Joe Gantz time to do exactly that.
Well, important for Nebraska to answer, though. We saw them come out strong. Clemson answered. Nebraska's got to come back, and here's a big run to start it off.
Castile 50, Castile 40. And rumbles to the 20-yard line, out of bounds, and Nebraska indeed answers back.
Well, it's like I told you, they're not going to be able to run the ball.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a great play. Just straight ahead running. Watch the seam that Quentin Castile gets to. Then, of course, a great move on Chris Clemons, the safety who should have been there. We talk about the sure tackling they displayed the whole first half. Right there does not get any worse. Chris Clemons put his head down, his feet were stuck in cement, and that's all Quentin Castile needed to get past him. Huge run to start this drive off.
A gain of 58 yards. Nebraska back on the front porch, knocking on the door. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Castile meets a wall of orange. No gain. 2nd down. Clock running up on 9 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
That 58-yarder is a career long for Castile, and this has got the feeling of maybe a shootout here as Nebraska refuses to fold offensively. All they have to do is make sure of the ball and quit turning it over.
Well, guys, we talked to Bo Pelini. We got the feeling that Roy Hello was going to be the big back, but at the end of the first half, we saw Quentin Castile and his big frame in there having a little bit of success. Looks like Bo Pelini's going to ride the hot horse here.
Castile taken down and sliding through Daquan Bowers. Well, this young freshman from Bamberg, South Carolina, having himself a big Gator Bowl.
Wow, watch the quickness as he jumps inside here, and he meets Castile about 4 yards deep in the backfield. Boy, is he a good-looking player.
And remember, he was a running back in high school. Can you imagine trying to bring this guy down?
No. Can you?
No.
That might have hurt even imagining that.
I don't even think the three of us would imagine that.
I wouldn't want it. He committed, by the way, his sophomore year in high school to Clemson. A loss of 2 as Gans steps up in the pocket, looks, fires, caught! Touchdown, Todd Peterson! The Huskers answer back.
Well, we've got ourselves a ball game here.
You talked about being a pocket passer. The calmest place on the field is when you step up into the pocket. You let the ends go by, Bowers goes by, Alexander goes by, and that opens up the throwing lane for Gans, and he found big number 17 for the score. Great job of stepping up into the calm spot of the pocket.
And there are not 2 guys that appreciate that more than you and myself, Dan.
Extra point splits the uprights. 4th touchdown grab of the season for Peterson, and Gans now with his 25th toss for Nebraska.
Yeah, and if it's not Swift, it's Peterson, the 2 seniors we talked about earlier. The big target over the middle, but watch as Gans steps up. He lets the defensive ends go by, and all of a sudden, hey, there's number 17 wide open.
They got the right play at the right time, and Todd Peterson was being a football player. He was supposed to come across flat across the middle of the field, but he saw the soft spot, and the defense figured, why run right into coverage? I'm going to turn up the field a little bit, and I'm going to find a soft spot. Joe Gans and he on the same page. Everybody's fired up in red and white right now.
As Steve, as I mentioned, it's the 25th passing touchdown for Gans. That ties a Nebraska single-season record now with Zach Taylor. Both with 25 throws. Taylor did it back in 06.
Well, you're going to see Todd Peterson right here. He's coming across. He's like, well, I'm covered. I'm going to fade up the field a little bit. There's a soft spot, and boy, Joe Gans, what confidence to have and make that throw in that situation.
Well, and you know, a lot of times Gans would just tuck that ball under his arm and take off running, but by flashing right across the middle as Peterson did, he really took that decision out of Gans' hands and was paid off for it.
4 plays, 75 yards, just over 2 minutes. And the Huskers close the gap back to 4, 21-17. Spiller at the goal line, flags are down. This kid is quick as a cat, lost his shoe, and goes out of bounds at the 37. He blew a tire. But a flag is at the 25.
Well, I'll tell you, when that guy, number 28, gets the ball in his hands, you just want to hold your breath. He is electricity. We talked about lightning.
During the return, holding, number 10 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Now they're saying number 10, that would be Cullen Harper. I doubt that Cullen Harper was the guilty party here. Maybe it's on the outside. There's a face mask that they got away with.
Well, Spiller's going to lace him up tight. Well, Steve and Dan, you look at the Tiger offense, everybody now having a part of it with Spiller and Davis, now Harper, 142 yards with 2 touchdowns and the pick, and Kelly with 3 grabs and that touchdown, dragging the toe in the corner.
Well, it appears that Nebraska's going to make Clemson play a little bit of offense this second half. They're trying to get it rolling on both sides of the ball here.
Davis stacked up and dropped for a loss of 2 back inside the 15-yard line. Well, what a game. Zach Potter teams up with Kohler, the middle inside linebacker. And Davis has been unable to really unleash any of that thunder.
You know, the other amazing stat I've found about this Nebraska defense is they only have 10 interceptions on the year. 4 of them have been from Potter and Sue, defensive linemen.
A loss of 3, second down and 13. Harper, quick throw, far side, it's up for grabs. Intercepted, Nebraska! Steinkühler with the big play.
Oh, this guy is just everywhere on the field. You see, he's right on the right side of your screen. That ball's kicked up in the air, and it was not Steinkühler. It was Blake Lawrence, number 40, that comes across the linebacker, and very well-read play by the Nebraska defense. Cullen Harper, boy, look at Carl Pelini, he's fired up. But Cullen Harper, that's a bad feeling when that ball is bounced up in the air.
Play was made by Prince Amukamara. The defensive back came up and caused that ball to be bounced in the air.
Nebraska back at it as Castile squares the pads, and boy, he took a hit by Chris Clemons, the free safety, number 22.
Yeah, I bet Clemons heard about the last time that Castile got loose on that 58-yarder. He missed the tackle. He wasn't going to miss that one. We heard that one very clearly.
Yeah, he wanted to make a statement there. And you know, a defense, when they're put in a position like this, they can go 2 ways. A good veteran defense relishes this kind of challenge. This is a veteran defense across the board, tremendous athletes. They're going to challenge themselves to keep Nebraska out of the end zone.
Castile, the lone black. In motion as Niles Paul. Oh, that ball's down. And Gans is able to cover up at the 11-yard line. Just a bad exchange from Hickman to Joe Gans.
You know, that's one of those things that a lot of times is overlooked. Nebraska works so often out of the shotgun. It's a huge issue when all of a sudden now the juices are flowing, the energy's high, you get up under center for a change. That center's not used to having you under there. The quarterback, maybe his hands aren't in the right position. Ball's on the ground. That could have been disastrous for Nebraska.
And that ball comes out quick. May break a finger. Under 6 minutes to play in the third. Third down and goal.
Right back to the gun, you see. Oh, here he goes stepping under center.
Play clock down to 2. Just got it off with 1 to spare. Gans pumps, fires, up top, and over the outstretched hand of Todd Peterson.
This play didn't look good from the get-go, did it? I mean, they were late getting the ball snapped. He went back up under center and just lets this one go too far for the 6'4" Todd Peterson.
Well, that's another one of those throws, Dan. You see Bo Pelini's reaction, upset out of the end zone. I don't know what he's asking for. Maybe he thought a little bit of face guarding, but I don't know if I agree with that. But the bottom line is when you got a 6'4" receiver, you want to give him a chance to go up for that football, especially when the defensive back is not even looking for the ball.
Alex Henry from 28 yards, and it's up and good. Henry hit from 48 in the second quarter and connects from 28. Clemson 21, Nebraska 20 at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville.
My name's Nate Swift. I play wide receiver for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. My New Year's resolution is to stop eating fast food after I'm done with football here. And I just want to wish the Husker Nation a Happy New Year.
MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage. Look for more aerials as MetLife teams up with CBS throughout the new year. And a Happy New Year from Jacksonville. Third quarter, Gator Bowl, Clemson 21 and Nebraska 20. And the last scoring drive, 4 plays, negative yards, and Henry hits from 28 yards to close the gap to 1. Tonight on CBS, it's one of the most unforgettable episodes of TV's #1 show. William Peterson stars in CSI. Tonight on CBS, America's most watched network.
And Dabo Swinney got to be very excited about the fact that his defense was able to rise to the occasion. First down at the 11-yard line and hold them to a field goal is definitely a big accomplishment. You said it, Craig, -1 yard on 3 plays.
Well, that fumbled snap didn't help the Husker cause at all.
No.
Adi Kanalik set to kick from the 30-yard line. Back to receive is C.J. Spiller. Line drive, and Spiller backpedals nearly to the back line of the end zone, takes a knee, and Clemson will take this football at the 20-yard line.
Well, that's the perfect weapon for a return game like Clemson has. Adi Kanalik with another touchback, and that one 9 yards deep in the end zone.
That is a great weapon. The stats speak for themselves. When an offense has to go more than 75 yards on a drive, the percentages are so far down as opposed to less than that. That weapon where the kicker can put that ball in the end zone and start his defense out at the 20-yard line is significant.
Clemson with the football. You see the total yards, Nebraska over 250, while the Tigers 155 yards. 2 of those touchdowns scored off Nebraska miscues. From the shotgun, Harper, handoff up the middle. And 2 yards for Spiller. Spiller came in, guys, averaging over 5.5 yards a carry. The junior out of Lake Butler, Florida. You know, he told us that he knows he's the home run threat, but he would like to prove that he can run between tackles, that he has a power game. Deal shifts back. Clock running. Up the middle. And Spiller able to break a tackle and pick up a yard the hard way up to the 24.5 yard line.
Well, you see Nebraska getting some good penetration. This second half, they've come out and created run pressures where they're trying to bring extra support from the inside to try and disrupt the running game even more so for Clemson. Good job by C.J. Spiller there of taking the initial hit and still managing to pick up 2 yards.
3rd down and 6. At the 24-yard line, Harper, shotgun. In motion is Aaron Kelly. Sets, high snap. Harper takes it down, throws a swing pass outside, and a rare drop. Spiller through his hands, and Clemson will have to punt away.
Well, that's just a flat drop by Spiller. He was wide open out there, and he had a lot of room in front of him. The nearest Husker coming to him to make a tackle was Ndamukong Suh.
And he was going to have, I like my odds with C.J. Spiller in the open field. As good as Ndamukong Suh is, I think C.J. Spiller is going to win that battle more times than not.
Jimmy Mainers at his own 10-yard line. And that wind continues to blow in his face here in the 3rd quarter. Blocked! It took the Clemson bounce, but not much up to the 31-yard line.
Ricky Tenarce came in from the left side and made that block. Took the ball right off the foot of the punter, Jimmy Mainers. Watch from the right side of the screen. Right hand right on the ball. That's the dreaded double thud sound you'll hear. The worst sound a punter can ever hear.
Well,
the thud of the foot, the thud of the block.
Boom. That's right. Now, I don't know what Sadat Chambers, number 27, the up back. You see, he right there just bumps from the outside, almost like he just said, oh, a little shrug here is good enough for me, but obviously not nearly enough of a shrug to slow down and prevent the block from happening.
And that play is proof while Tenarce was a special teams MVP in 06-07. Oh, what a grab in traffic. How did McNeil, the tight end, turn and make that grab from Gans?
Well, they believe they're going to win this game. That's how. You got to make plays like this if you think you're going to win the game. How about Gans again stepping up, avoiding the sack there, and then the left-handed, one-handed stab by McNeil.
Yeah, that was Brandon May, number 20, that came clean up the gap, and Joe Gans doing a super job just buying that little extra time, little slide in the pocket. You can't expect that ball to be right on the money in that situation, and a tremendous catch by Mike McNeil.
Huskers looking to take the lead. Back on the ground they go. Castile stacked up, driven back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, this running attack for Nebraska's got to be one cut and go. 2 or 3 cuts, you're going to be tackled for a loss, as Castile was there.
You hit it right on the head then. I was going to say that Castile's game is not bouncing things outside. His game is tackle to tackle. His job is to hit the hole where he's supposed to hit it, make one cut, and that's it. If it's no gain, it's no gain, but he doesn't have the physical ability to hit that thing up inside and then beat Clemson to the sideline.
Second down. Clock coming up on 2.5 minutes to play. They'll try Castile again, and just inside the tackle. In fact, he just ran by Slauson, the right guard, the big wide body. And Slauson found him just a little bit of an opening, and Castile took advantage.
Yeah, that's one of those plays at the end of the play. The defense helps the runner pick up extra yards. Cavell Connor came in and blasted Castile forward about 4 yards.
It was a great hit, but he did give him 3 or 4 more yards. That hit was made for a 1-yard gain.
85 yards rushing for Castile. Now Nebraska. 3rd down and 5. Clemson fans on their feet. Tigers showing blitz. Gans throws a slightly incomplete. Nate Swift right at the 1-yard line, off his hands.
Well, I don't know what Cresden Butler was thinking, but he's one-on-one coverage with Nate Swift on the backside and gave up the inside. Dan, you know as a quarterback, your eyes light up when you see that backside coverage head up or outside on a receiver running a slant. It's a gimme. Pelini knows, boy, those are ones that we have to cash in on. You give up 7, you're going to have to settle for 3 again.
Alex Henry set for a 28-yard field goal to put Nebraska on top. Henry from 48, Henry from 28, and Henry hits another 28-yarder, and Nebraska leads Clemson by 2.
Well, there are 2 gaping mistakes today for Clemson. One was the blocked field goal early, and Dominican Sue got that big arm up there and deflected it. And then right here, of course, the big block punt on the last series that gave Nebraska tremendous field position. Tenarce with the block. But fortunately for Clemson, the defense has responded both times the last 2 series deep in their own territory, holding Nebraska just to field goals.
2 mistakes by Clemson, 1 huge mistake by Nate Swift. He's caught 166 passes in his great career. 1 more would have been in the end zone. He flat dropped that slant route.
You're right, and he's a senior. Last game in Nebraska, he's got to make that catch.
Well, Gans in the first half had a rough time being moved off the spot, so to speak, being forced to throw the ball away, hounded and harassed. But the second half, he has been outstanding. 5 out of 8 he has completed with a couple of touchdown passes.
Spiller will get a chance to return from the 3-yard line. Right up the middle he goes, breaks the tackle, stacked up and dropped at the 31-yard line.
Late flag thrown in after this ball was down.
Jack Wood will huddle up with his crew. And here's the call.
Dead ball, personal foul. Number 24 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh.
Here's Gans's 2 touchdown passes. Just a beautiful catch here by Swift. This one was a lot tougher than the one he just dropped, too. And then he found Big Todd Peterson over the middle to give new life to this Cornhusker team.
Well, we talked in the first half how Bo Pelini would be happy going in with a 0-0 ball game given how badly his team has performed. Second half here, Dabo's got to be fired up, Dabo Swinney, that his team is only down 2 points right now.
Harper in trouble, takes his seat.
House of Spears got him again.
Yeah, Mr. Sue, how are you?
93 right there. Watch him work on the right guard, Mason Cloy there. And just with one hand brings down Cullen Harper. And Harper's a big dude, 6'4", 225, but not big enough for Mr. Sue.
Yeah, and Ndamukong Suh, I don't know how you can allow him to get that one-on-one matchup. Inside, he's too good of an athlete. He's going to make you pay the price most of the time.
Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Clemson with the ball, throws it out to the flat. It's caught. Spiller turns on the Jets and is bumped out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Matt O'Hanlon, the free safety, number 33, made the play.
Just a little bubble screen to the left side. You know, when you're as talented as C.J. Spiller is, you try and find and create ways to get him the football. Right there, a good example. They picked up about half the yardage that they needed for the first down, made back the yardage that they lost on the previous sack by Sue.
3rd down and 8. Shotgun. Now Harper steps up.
Showing blitz, Nebraska. Everybody up at the line.
9-man rush. Swing it. Little seam, and the hit is the Grisham.
And how about Ndamukong Suh making the tackle? Unbelievable. The blitz, it was a zone blitz. He dropped out, looked for the slant, and kept the receiver from picking up the first down. Another great play by the Portland, Oregon native.
In the open field.
That ends the third quarter here in Jacksonville. Nebraska 23, Clemson 21. And we'll come back to Jacksonville after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the Conica Minolta Gator Bowl on CBS. Welcome back to Jacksonville, the Gator Bowl, as we start the fourth quarter. Nebraska 23, Clemson 21. Craig Buller, Jack, Steve Berline, Dan Fouts. Glad you're with us. Hope you're enjoying this one, guys. I tell you, Bo Pelini, obviously at the half, guys, challenged Nebraska, and they outscored Clemson in that third quarter 20-7.
They really did. Now, it's a tale of two halves, really. The first half, we didn't see much in terms of offense at all. Second half, Nebraska came right out and did exactly what Dr. Bo Pelini ordered and said, hey, we're going to take this thing down and score some points. Made a statement right away, Dan.
Well, they were aggressive. They threw the ball down the field deep. They got big plays out of both their senior wide receivers, and we've got ourselves a ball game here.
Now, we've seen missed opportunities, too. That third quarter, full of them.
Under center, Harper with a hard count, trying to draw Nebraska off on a 4th and 2. Play clock to 8. He'll go back under center.
Great discipline by Nebraska. Dan, you and I were talking at the break. We couldn't believe that Dabo Swinney was actually going to go for it in this situation.
Yeah, and how many times have you seen the quarterback be able to draw somebody off sides in that situation? I mean, the defense, that's the first thing they're thinking about. And the luxury the defense has, it was 4th down and 2 yards to go. It wasn't 4th and inches where a quarterback sneak could pick it up easily.
And Dan, don't you think during the quarter break that was discussed
I think
on
so.
the sideline?
Well, that's why coaches get paid some of them get paid the big bucks and other of them are just assistants. But those assistants worked the sidelines well that time for the Huskers.
They sure did. Nobody even flinched.
Mainers for Clemson, set to punt at his own 31-yard line. Good high hanger. That ball's taken to the 12-yard line by Swift. Here he comes near side, cuts it back up the middle, flags are down, and Swift is driven out of bounds at the 39-yard line. But a flag at the 24. 40-yard kick, a 27-yard return, but a flag is down.
Not much mystery as to what this is. An illegal block against Nebraska will back up their offense.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Eagle Eye Dan, you're right. And don't forget, later in this game, we'll have the 5-star play of the game presented by Wrangler. And there has been more than one 5-star play in this game.
There have been a bunch. I'll tell you, though, a play like that right there, you get the great return by Nate Swift. You get the good field position. One play, and from what we could tell, that block had really nothing to do. It was on the back side of that play. Nate Swift had already gotten to the left edge. Those are the kind of things that'll drive a coach crazy. That's hidden yardage right there. It cost Nebraska 25 yards.
Now Marlon Lucky, number 5, has joined Nebraska's backfield. Shotgun is Gans. Little shovel pass. Lucky stops and goes, stacked up. Clemson not fooled. You have to play disciplined football against Nebraska. And Marlon Lucky, the senior from North Hollywood, California.
Well, I'll tell you who was not lucky on that play was Joe Gans. He had to take on Daquan Bowers face-to-face. Daquan Bowers basically gave him a big kiss right in the face mask. And if I'm Joe Gans, I'm saying, Coach, let's run that play to the other side. I don't want to run. This guy's a beast.
No gain, second down at 10 from the 10-yard line. Fourth quarter here in Jacksonville. Nebraska with the ball up by 2. Gans fires a strike. Over the middle. Tough catch. Peterson in traffic. And Nebraska will move the chains up to the 24-yard line.
Thrown on time, perfect rhythm. Gans gets the snap, makes a good catch of the snap, sets his back foot, and again, it's one of those hook routes. The experience of Peterson on that play, the experience of Swift on other plays, knowing where the holes are in this zone defense, perfect execution.
4 catches, now 96 yards for Todd Peterson. Handoff, Castile. And a 2-yard loss is the Clemson Tigers.
Castile on the carry.
Shut down that corner, Courtney Brown, number 90.
Great job at the point of attack by the front of the Clemson Tigers. No push at all. They beat the Nebraska offensive line to the punch right from the get-go, and then were able to string the play out all the way to the sideline. Courtney Brown being the one to finish it off right there.
And Castile limps to the sidelines after that tackle, so that could be a huge factor for the Huskers.
Yeah, he's been the only running back with any success at all today.
Second down, 12, under 13 to play, fourth quarter. Play clock to 1, just got the snap away as Gans sets up all day to throw. Now pushed down in the pocket. Gans dumps it off on the run, and he finds Lucky. And Lucky paid for that catch, maybe a yard the hard way to the 26, and Gans is slow to get up.
Yeah, Gans paid for the reception as he was just flattened. I think it was Bowers again. Gans being moved off the spot. Does a good job of finally finding a receiver, but here comes trouble. Number 93, and now it is number 90, Courtney Brown, who flattens Joe Gans.
Looks
and
like
Gans
maybe
still down.
Landed on his right shoulder.
It was either his right shoulder or look at his feet getting caught up underneath his head.
It's his right shoulder.
Pulled his arm back.
Brown pinned his arm to the side, and the shoulder took the entire force of that tackle by Brown.
Yeah, and his head smacked into that turf pretty hard, too, after the shoulder.
Gans being looked at. We'll step aside here in Jacksonville.
And now it's time for our Geico scoring recap.
After a scoreless first quarter, things picked up with the second. Nebraska fumbles. DeAndre McDaniel picks it up, races 28 yards to put Clemson on top by 7. Then Alex Henry answers back from 48 yards, 7-3 Clemson. Then after an interception, Cullen Harper goes to Aaron Kelly in the corner. Great catch. 25 yards, 14-3 at the half. Third quarter, first possession, Nate Swift, 17 yards, touchdown. Then Jacoby Ford, 41 yards. Over the top, right on the button, 21-10. Back comes Nebraska, Gans to Peterson. All day to throw, right on the slant, over the middle, 21-17. And then Henry hits again, a field goal of 28 yards. And this thing is tightened up 21-20. Henry comes back again from 28 yards. And Nebraska owns the lead of 23-21. Gans did make his way off the field. And will be replaced by the redshirt freshman Patrick Witt, who's attempted only 8 passes on the season. And they are looking into the eyes of Joe Gans.
He got pulled down, landed on that shoulder, Dan, but that head did look like it bounced off the turf pretty hard. You get a chance to see for the first time today Patrick Witt. He's only thrown 8 passes this year, but he's completed 6 of them.
Also carried the ball 3 times for 16 yards and a touchdown. He takes over with Nebraska on top by 2. So Witt stands up, pumps. Now he's going to tuck and run. And takes a hit. Lost the handle. It's on the ground. Picked up. Clemson rumbling into the end zone. Byron Maxwell, touchdown.
This might be worth reviewing. He took a heck of a lick.
Oh, you gotta wonder coming out right away, going with the pass. I like the confidence, but boy, Patrick Witt, quarterback coming in cold, hasn't played much. These Clemson Tigers will hit you. Let's see if he was down.
That ball's out.
It's a matter of when that ball was down. Those knees, it was close, Dan. I think you might have something to look at. They are going to review it.
Yeah, it depends on the angle we get to look at this one. You know, the pass play is not a bad idea, but throw the ball. Don't be running it.
And don't take anybody on head on.
I think that right knee may have been down before the ball came out.
Yeah, from that angle, you're right.
Could very well be. And if that's the case, boy, there's going to be a lot of people wearing orange upset in this stadium right now. But you see, the question is, where does that ball come out? He was definitely down, it looked like, from our angle here.
Bill Richardson is our replay official, an excellent replay official out of the Pac-10 Conference.
And Dan, this angle, the backside angle shows knee down, ball out.
Yep. And it's a bang-bang play.
The question is, are the referees going to determine that it was indisputable evidence that he had control of that ball when the knee hit, because the call was ruled a fumble? I think it's pretty clear to us. I don't know how they could not overturn that, but
I'm not sure indisputable is the correct word. It's inconclusive, because we're going to dispute anything, whether it goes one way or the other. That's our job, is to dispute things.
Right.
But this is conclusive.
Got to be conclusive evidence, yes.
Knee down.
Knee down.
Boy, from that angle again, kind of we were blinded by the orange going by. I think the backside angle shows it the best.
Let's look at this, though. Where does he lose control of that football?
I think the right knee's down before the left.
The right knee was the first one down.
And he does have control. It's Courtney Brown making 2 plays in a row. First of all, knocking Joe Gans out of the game temporarily, we hope, and then forcing this fumble after the hit on Patrick Witt.
It looks pretty clear that that right knee was down beforehand. That Patrick Witt probably will get a little
right knee down, right there.
You know, and the officials are going to let the play run, because they know they have a replay to back them up or to correct the play. But normally on a fumble, they will be a little bit slower blowing the whistle than they used to be in the old days when you played, Steve.
Did they have whistles when you were playing then?
A long review taken by Jack Wood, the referee, and this is from our cart up along the sideline. And I think, you know, if you can spot the right knee down first, left knee follows, and the ball is punched out by Courtney Brown, number 90.
And I've got no problem with them taking a little extra time. This is such a huge play in the course of this game.
And you know, the other thing it does, it allows Joe Gans to maybe gather his wits on the sidelines. If he does have a few cobwebs there, maybe get a little treatment on his shoulder.
Well, Patrick Witt right there, no one feels worse than he does. He's excited, he's hungry to go out and try and help his team, and boy, a coach's worst nightmare, though, to have that play happen the first play after you substitute in a backup quarterback.
After review, the runner was down prior to losing possession of the ball. The ball will be returned to Nebraska, 4th and 3 at the 31-yard line.
Will take away the touchdown, 4th down and 3 for the Huskers.
And one last look. The officials upstairs, Bill Richardson, seeing that right knee go down, and then Courtney Brown's punching the ball out. Excellent use of the replay system.
No doubt about it. Obviously, the Clemson fans not very excited about it, but if they get a chance to see the replay later on, they'll understand, they'll agree. The emotions are running high right now, but this guy right here, number 28, might have something to say right now as well.
Titchener set to punt inside his own 20-yard line, and Spiller set to return at the 30. Good snap. Good punt. Hangs it up. Spiller pedals back at the 23. Spiller at the 30, 35. Breaks the tackle to the 40 and squirts his way up to the 43-yard line. Amazing. The escapability of Spiller. Timeout, 11:50 to play here in Jacksonville.
Michael Hamlin, Clemson University, strong safety. My New Year's resolution is to be a better person in 2009 than 2008. Be a better big brother to my little brothers and a better son to my mother and father. Happy New Year's to everybody in Clemson.
And you know, Steve, you talked about Ray Lewis. Well, let's talk a little bit about the season that Chad Pennington had, being kicked to the curb, tossed out of New York, goes down to Miami like so many other New Yorkers have done and thrived.
Phenomenal. Just voted for the second time in the last 3 years the comeback player of the year in the NFL. And as he said, it's amazing how these things work themselves out.
Is Bill Parcells a magician or what? Taking over the offensive line. Ford, stiff arms out of bounds at midfield.
Been a heck of an afternoon for Ndamukong Suh. The junior defensive tackle blocked a field goal, a chip shot in the first half. Got in on a number of plays at the line of scrimmage, pressured the quarterback Harper into a couple of sacks. Keep your eye on number 93.
Says he wants to come back for his senior year next year, even though he could go right to the NFL right now, but he wants to get better under the tutelage of Bo and Carl Pelini.
Clemson sets up the screen. Spiller goes to the sideline, steps out of bounds. A late push, and now a flag comes out late.
Yeah, they're going to get Spiller for throwing the ball at the Nebraska tackler. Lost his poise on the Nebraska sideline, frustrated that that screen pass didn't develop better, and he's going to cost his team 15 big ones.
That is a huge play, Dan. You nailed it right on the head. He frustrated that that play did not work. Getting hit is part of the game if you're a running back, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be. And Blake Lawrence, number 40, took his wrath. And he gave him a push back, but...
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense number 23. 15-yard penalty. Will be 3rd down.
That 8 looks like a 3, but it's 28. And you can see there's
number
nothing.
23 threw the ball at the guy that pushed him out of bounds.
So not a big deal. Shouldn't have been a big deal.
Now the big deal about it is it was after the play was dead, so you lose the down, and now you come up with a 3rd down and a mile after having, again, great field position as Clemson had so many times in that first quarter.
Exactly right.
3rd down, 24 for the Tigers. Pedaling back, Colin Harper goes deep, up top, near side. Incomplete. And he wanted Jacoby Ford, the sprinter. And now 4th and 24, so the Tigers will have to punt away, down by 2 with over 11 minutes to play.
That was a curious play selection on 3rd and a mile. Just, I guess, go back and throw it a mile. Huh?
You know, you got a guy with the wheels Jacoby Ford has. I don't disagree with the decision to try and put one up. He had one-on-one coverage.
And Steve, plus you got wind behind your back. You could put that ball up 60 yards.
Sure. And they're punting to a Nebraska team, though, now that has outscored their opponents this year 152-52. They have control of this game right now, too.
Line drive, Nate Swift breaks the tackle, stumbles up past the 35-yard line. Well, flying high above, MetLife is providing today's aerial coverage of the game down below. Celebrating 140 years of MetLife. Sellout crowd. You just see a sea of orange and red all mixed together here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville.
And what a great sign that is, and sight for Husker fans to see their senior quarterback shaking off that big hit from Courtney Brown.
Well, Nebraska with a 2-point lead back on the field at the 36-yard line, and Gans is under center. Castile, the ball carrier, and nothing doing. Stacked up and driven back for a loss of 2, maybe 3. I have been impressed, guys, with Clemson's ability to swarm the football.
They've been put in some very bad situations, especially in the second half. They've answered the bell with the exception of a couple of big plays by Nebraska. This Clemson defense has been spot on all day long, and you got to tip your hat to them, especially Dan holding them to field goals, those 2 drives where they got the ball first down very close to the end zone. That's why this Clemson Tiger team is still in the ballgame.
Yeah, the 2 freshmen have played outstanding. Daquan Bowers, Brandon Thompson. 2nd down and 3, 4 wide receiver set as Gantz takes the shotgun up and over. That ball is caught, and it's going to be whistled out of bounds. Niles Paul out of bounds, and that stops the clock with 10:17 to play.
Now, one thing that Nebraska's offensive line has not been able to do is to knock the Clemson defense off their feet. They do a great job of fighting blocks and just keeping their feet, so that allows them to pursue and make so many tackles. It's just amazing the athletic ability of that entire Tiger defense.
Well, and it does not show up as far as sacks go. This is a defense that only has 14 sacks on the season, but they cause disruption. They cause problem. They make the quarterback move around, and that's just as good.
Gant steps up in the pocket, dumps it underneath. Castile breaks a tackle, has running room at midfield, spins out of a tackle and inside Clemson territory at the 48. Chris Clemens spun him down.
The man that makes this play, in my opinion, is Todd Peterson.
Yeah, he's made a couple of great catches today, but watch the block from the right side of the screen. Right there, number 17, a legal block on number 12, Gilchrist. Huge first down.
Great patience, not trying to jump, and there's Joe Gans, bruised and beat up, but he knows that was a big conversion on 3rd and long, and Todd Peterson, though, he's the reason that play was able to spring and get the first down.
And a gain of 20 yards, first down for the Huskers at the Clemson 48-yard line. Play fake, tough catch by the tight end McNeil, put out both hands and pulled it into his body, and picks up about 5, maybe 6, up to the 42-yard line.
Stop by Clemens.
McNeil with a couple of catches on the afternoon, the sophomore from Kirkwood, Missouri.
How about the second half for Joe Gans? He's completed 10 of 12 now for 138 yards and a pair of touchdowns.
And with a few cobwebs, Dan, flying around.
I think they're gone now.
2nd down and 5. He puts Peterson in motion. Gans under center. Tucks has room. Heads to the near sideline and runs out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Courtney Brown again in around that play. Brown, Bowers, and Thompson. We have called their name just numerous times for the Tigers.
You could hear the Nebraska fans and coaches and team hold their breath for Joe Gans, hoping he could get to the sidelines and get out of harm's way.
9 minutes and 13 seconds. 9:13 on the game clock. 25 seconds on the play clock.
Now Jack Wood wants to reset the game clock. We're going to wait for 9:07. Did I hear him right? 9-13. Is that what he wanted?
There it is. You're exactly right, Craig. Nebraska slowly working themselves up to that 50% mark on third downs we were talking about. Big one here. None bigger than this one today, especially for Clemson.
Shotgun Gans. Lets the ends fly by. Ball batted down. No. Incomplete, and it was Cavell Connor. The weak side, the will linebacker.
This is an amazing play by Cavell Connor. You're going to see right here, he actually blitzes. Runs into the blitz. You're going to see right up the middle. This is him. He's going to blitz up the middle, realize he can't get there, and watch what he does. There's the blitz. He said, oh, I'm not going to get there. I'm going to come back and knock this pass down. You talk about incredible instinct and decision-making under the fire. What a great play. Huge play.
Titchener in at to punt at the 45. Jacoby Ford awaits. High hanger, little pooch kick. Oh, it takes a kick back. That looked like a pitching wedge. Took a great turn back at the 15-yard line, and they'll down it at the 19. A 22-yard punt, no return. 8:48 to play. And Bo Pelini, in his first season at Nebraska, and you look at what other coaches have accomplished in this freshman report card. How about Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech? You know what? We saw him, Steve. I'll tell you, Georgia Tech, Georgia had a big second half. Houston Nutt at Ole Miss. New coaches this season.
Well, Paul Johnson got a little dose of reality yesterday from LSU team, but talk about Dabo Swinney, how fired up he is about being the head coach of this program. He told us a story the other day about how it really hit him when he pulled in to the facility into his head coaching parking spot, and the big number 88 was sitting there. That was space number 88, which was a significant number to him. It was his high school football number.
It was all meant to be.
It was all meant to be. It was like all these pieces that have led him along this path, it all hit him at that point like, I really am the head coach at Clemson.
Well, he took over October 13th after Bowden stepped down. Then they removed the interim label off of the head coach and gave him control on December 1st. And he asked his players, who wants it? Who wants to be all in? Dan, you talked about it earlier, but he gave the seniors a chance. If you don't want to be a part of this program, we're in the parking lot tonight. Go ahead, go to your cars, no questions asked, and everyone stayed.
A great scene right there as he reaches out and shakes the hand of his quarterback, Cullen Harper, before this critical series of plays.
8:48 to play. In the 64th Gator Bowl, Clemson down by 2 with the football. Harper on the rollout, chasing, and pushed out of bounds at the 15. Pierre Allen to right in, number 95. Allen's a great story. He had to jump in as a starter after Barry Turner went down with injury in week 2, and he's done a fine job, the sophomore out of Denver.
And he gets credit for a sack on that play, so he'll pick up his 5th sack of the year to join his other 2 buddies there, Sue and Steinkühler and Potter. What a front 4.
A loss of 1, second down and 11. Harper, quick throw, quick slant, and a quick catch. Aaron Kelly reaches out. Kelly has been pretty much just stonewalled here in the second half and reaches out to the 25-yard line.
Well, he has been stonewalled, but he did have the big touchdown in the first half, and he only needed 23 yards on the day to become the all-time leading yardage wide receiver. He already holds records in the ACC and every other receiving record at Clemson, but today he became the all-time yardage leader as far as receptions as well.
4th grab for 46 yards. 3rd down and 4, Clemson. And the slant falls incomplete off the hands of Kelly. And Murillo, the right cornerback, was in there to make the hit.
Well, you got to give Nebraska's defense a lot of credit. That's just, that was the 13th third down they faced, and they have kept Clemson from converting 11 times.
Well, that's one right there, though, Dan. You talked about the touchdown that Nebraska gave up earlier on the slant to Nate Swift. Right there, Colin Harper did the right thing going to Aaron Kelly. He was open, just did not make a good throw.
Mainers. Big kick at the 35-yard line is Swift. Stop and goes. Slides at the 40, still on his feet, and tackled down at the 46-yard line. Swift just has the ability to make something out of nothing. A 40-yard boot and a 10-yard return. 7:30 to play here in Jacksonville. Nebraska leads Clemson by 2. Back at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, 7.5 minutes to play. Nebraska owns a 2-point lead on Clemson. Craig Bolerjack, Steve Berline, and the Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. What's the keys here in the final 7.5 minutes?
Well, that's the key. 7.5 minutes in time of possession. Nebraska number 2 in the nation coming into today's game. They have a huge lead as far as that's concerned now. And Clemson only has 2 timeouts if and when they get the ball back.
That's exactly what the key point is. It always has been for Nebraska this year. You got to find a way to keep the ball away from them, because once they get it, they don't give it back. They don't turn the ball over, generally speaking. They always do a very good job of managing the clock. This is right up their alley right now. Clemson's defense has a great challenge in front of them.
Over 30 minutes of possession time, 22 for Clemson, and 7.5 remain here in the 64th Gator Bowl.
Only twice this year has anybody out-possessed the football against Nebraska.
Movement, flags. And jumping was Thompson, the freshman, Brandon Thompson. Brandon, I'm sorry, big fella, you can't hide at 6'2", 315.
Good ball, offside. Defense for the 98. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And you know, you two former quarterbacks, you have to lick your chops when you have 1st and 5.
You can do a lot of things with 1st and 5.
Castile lines up alongside Gans in the shotgun at midfield. Castile takes the ball, spins out of a tackle on his feet at the 40. Watch out. Castile at the 25-20. Castile at the 10-5. And out of bounds. They will mark Castile out at the 9-yard line. What a run by Quentin Castile.
Haven't had many missed tackles by the Tigers today, but there's a couple on this play, the draw play to Castile. He makes a couple miss right in the hole there. Number 20, who's had a great day for the Tigers, just could not bring down Brandon May, middle linebacker.
Brandon May was the first one. Then once again, we see Chris Clemens coming up late. Bad angle, he let up a little bit. He needed to be there to finish off whatever Brandon May couldn't finish off. Was good initial contact, but Quentin Castile is a big dude, and he's not going to go down unless you take him down.
All of 121 yards, all since the second quarter. Pushing the pile inside the 5-yard line. Scott and Clemens made the tackle, and Slauson.
Not a whole lot of dancing going on by Castile now. He's just planting that foot. That one cut and go, and Slauson leading the way.
Dan, this has to go back to what Bo Pelini decided to do. He went with Hellieu earlier. Marlon Lucky has seen some reps, but Castile has given him power and some speed combined.
And that was the story of the game coming in, the power of Nebraska against the speed and quickness of Clemson.
We just didn't know it was going to be Quentin Castile doing all the work.
2nd down and goal as the clock runs up on 6 minutes of play. Castile, the ball carrier, stacked up, driven back. He'll lose a yard. Back to the 6-yard line. Daquan Bowers right there, big number 93.
Boy, how many tackles has Daquan Bowers made? How many pressures on the quarterback? That was a very critical play by the young freshman.
He is a 19-year-old man. I tell you what, it's going to be scary what this kid's going to be doing the next couple of years. I can guarantee you this, there's a lot of NFL teams that would love to be in position to get a hold of this guy right now.
A year ago, he's playing high school football. Today, Gator Bowl. Gans pedals back, pumps, goes to the end zone up top. And through the hands of the tight end, Mike McNeil.
Pass intended for McNeil.
That brings up 4th and goal. So for Clemson, the best case scenario. Nebraska gets a field goal. They'll get the ball back with 5:24 and possibly only down by a count of 26-21.
And if you're Dabo Swinney and you're Colin Harper in this Clemson offense, you're grateful that you're now going to have the opportunity. Your defense once again has done their job, holding to a field goal. You've got to step up at some point and make some plays, score a touchdown.
Alex Henry punches in his 4th field goal of the afternoon. And Nebraska opens up a 5-point lead on Clemson. 5:20 remaining.
21.
Both these programs are being rebuilt, but Nebraska under Bo Pelini up by 5. This would be another huge step in the process.
You know, big part of it is defense. Obviously, that's his background. And when you talk about defense at Nebraska, you talk about the black shirts. A tradition like no other in college football. Well, that's what he wants to get back, and that's exactly what he's counting on now with this 5-point lead with 5:20 to go in the game.
You know, when he was telling us about the black shirts, it was interesting because a lot of his team, his seniors especially, guys that had been with the previous regime, Bo Pelini felt that they didn't really know how to work as hard as they should work, and they came out and won their first 3 games against Western Michigan, San Jose State, New Mexico State, and the seniors came to him and said, "Hey, Coach, what about the black shirts? You know, we've earned them, right?" And Bo Pelini looked him in the eye and said, "No, you haven't earned it yet. You're not there. You don't know how to practice well enough, and you're not ready to wear those black shirts yet." But they've earned it over the last couple of months, and Bo Pelini thinks his program is going in exactly the right direction.
Well, the wind knocked that ball off the tee. And we are set. Adi Kanalik at the 30. Strong legs it. High floater. Wind's going to push that ball down at the 12-yard line. Spiller, took a hit at the 22-yard line.
Alfonso Dennard. We also got the benefit of the fact that Spiller was cutting at the time, so it looked a lot worse than it really was as Dillard lays the shoulder into Spiller. But watch Spiller, he's just slipping at the last minute.
Right. Spiller at an extreme disadvantage. That's the first time we've seen someone get a really clean shot at him.
If I could knock the wind out of him or something.
5:13 to play. Clemson with the ball. 2 timeouts remaining. The pitch, Davis. The power back squares up those pads and works his way to the 29-yard line. Steinkuhler took him on.
Stopped by O'Hanlon.
O'Hanlon also in on the tackle, number 33.
This would be a good time, I think. Call me crazy, but for Clemson to start thinking about scoring a touchdown.
You're crazy.
Dabo Swinney, he knows he's got plenty of time, but this drive has got to be the drive. He can stay with his regular offense, but there's got to be a sense of urgency out there now for the Tiger offense.
Clock under 5 to play. Hand off, nothing doing. Davis is dropped for a loss back at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, that's our man Sue again.
Those aren't boos. Those are Sues.
Yeah, he'd make Johnny Cash proud.
Fantastic game. This guy, everything that we've heard and been built up about Ndamukong Suh, 100% legit. What a joy to talk to him and hear his philosophy, hear his story. But to see him come out here and dominate a game like he has been pretty impressive.
Clemson 0 for 9 on their last 3rd down conversion. They're looking at 3rd down and 8. Clock running, 4:10. To the near sideline, it's caught out of bounds. That stops the clock. Aaron Kelly with a big grab, and the officials are hearing the barking on that Clemson sideline. Thought maybe a late hit.
Yeah, flag was thrown on the sidelines, no question, Craig. Good job by Harper reading the corner blitz, don't you think?
Personal foul. Defense number 33. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Matt O'Hanlon, not only the first down, but stacked 15 more yards on it.
Well, you're going to see the corner blitz coming right here, straight off the side. No one to block him, and you're going to see Cullen Harper do what a quarterback should do. Stand in there strong and make the throw when your team needs it. 3rd and 10. That was a huge play for the Clemson Tigers. Then you tack on the 15 for the personal foul. They've got some confidence going now.
4 minutes to play at the 49-yard line of Nebraska. Clemson down by 5. Davis trying to be patient, wait for a little hole to open behind his big front line of Hutchinson, Cloy, and Walker.
Now you wonder about the fatigue factor for Nebraska, because they don't really substitute all that much along their defensive line. We've seen Sue in there, we've seen Potter, we've seen Steinkuhler, and you see Steinkuhler with his hands on his hips, as well as Potter and Sue. These young men are getting a little bit tired, a little bit worn down.
Well, and you mentioned before, Dan, how they dominate time of possession. That's the best friend of a defense like Nebraska, where they get that time to rest.
2nd down and 6. Under center is Harper. Play action pass. Good protection. Dancing, looking for help. Spins. In trouble. Throws it away. And incomplete up alongside the Clemson sideline. That ball was intended for Grisham. And Harper nearly pulled off a little Houdini act.
Yeah, and almost got picked off. This ball in the air for an eternity. Look at the effort by Grisham with the left hand. Well, I'm not so sure that's not a catch. His feet are in bounds. Ball appeared to hit the ground.
What an unbelievable effort by Tyler Grisham, though. But I think that elbow and everything hits out of bounds. I don't think that ball was clearly in his possession.
3rd down and 6. Whistles are going to stop the play.
They're going to look at it, sounds like.
Ruling on the previous play is under review.
So they will review the play prior to the last snap.
I agree with you, Steve. I think this is a good call by the officials on the field, because it's very hard to determine with one hand possession. It's a one-handed catch, and it looked like the point of the ball did hit the ground, although he never really bobbled it after it hit the ground. Great effort.
Unbelievable with his left arm to be able to keep control of that football in any way, shape, or form is amazing.
Do you see the hand under the ball, under the nose?
Yeah, his elbow is down under the ball. You see, that looks like his hand right there, but it's just hard to tell from this far away.
And people wonder why there are stripes on the ball.
The ruling on the field was confirmed.
And that's one of the reasons. It used to be for night games when you played in really dark stadiums. In fact, the footballs used to be white with black stripes. But it really helps in college football to have those stripes, because in cases like that, you can see if the ball is juggled.
Nebraska, 3 timeouts remaining. Clemson with 2.
That was another play there, Dan, and Craig, I thought Cullen Harper might have done himself better service sitting in the pocket still. He starts moving, he gets those feet going, and he ran into some trouble on the left side.
Towels are being waved on that Nebraska bench. 3rd down and 6. Clemson trying to come back from 5 down. In the pocket, Harper flushed out, tucks and runs, and is tripped up. And Harper slow coming up off the grass at the 43-yard line.
And this is no question that Clemson's going to have to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, Dabo Swinney is going to have to pick the best play in his playbook right here. 4th and 5. A lot of different things you can do with it.
My first choice, if you're asking me, Stephen, I know you're just about to, is I would be looking up number 80, Aaron Kelly, their all-time great receiver. He's looking to get single coverage at the top of the screen.
Yep, he's at the top of the screen.
4th down and 4, play clock to 3, and now Dabo Swinney will call timeout, and Cullen Harper will make his way to the sideline. Well, they burned some precious seconds there, deciding to take a timeout.
Well, it's okay. They've got 2:26 left in the game.
And basically, this is the game.
This is the game. This is the most important play of the season. for Clemson, without a doubt. I really think Dabo Swinney doing the right thing, making sure they got the perfect play, making sure that everybody knows what's expected of them. Get a play that your quarterback is comfortable with, too. You know, a lot of times in a situation like this, the play the coach wants to run is not the play the quarterback feels most comfortable with. And you ask Dabo Swinney, you ask any offensive coach, they want to run a play the quarterback feels good about. They want him to go up there with that confidence it's the right play.
And if the coach has a better idea, his job is to convince the quarterback that this is a better play because of that.
Here's what I'm thinking.
This is what we're expecting out of Nebraska's defense. Now, if you're looking at Nebraska, do they sit back and play zone, protecting against a potential game-winning touchdown pass? Because remember, the advantage that these guys have in the orange is their speed. We saw it with Jacoby Ford on the long touchdown catch. So a lot of things are going into this 4th down and 4 for both sides.
2:26 to play, 4th quarter. So after the timeout, shotgun formation, Cullen Harper. 2 wide receivers, bottom of your screen. Harper sets up, throws, hits, Ford, breaks the tackle inside the 30, and is thrown down by O'Hanlon at the 26-yard line. Well, the timeout was the right call.
It was, and you got the one-on-one matchup on the super quick Jacoby Ford. Does a tremendous job beating the one-on-one coverage inside, and a good, strong, poised throw by Cullen Harper. This Clemson team has new life.
And a gain of 16. 2:05 to play. Once again, Harper from the shotgun. 2-step drop, throws up top, got a man, wide open, 10-yard line, and it's the big man, Aaron Kelly. 6'5", senior, Marietta, Georgia, all Mr. Everything at Clemson.
I think Dabo Swinney told his quarterbacks, hang in the pocket and take a look at your playmakers. First it's Ford, now it's Kelly, but that front offensive line, great pass protection. Nobody near Harper on either of those last 2 throws.
Great protection and a super job by Aaron Kelly settling down in that soft spot of his own defense.
And back-to-back completions of 16 and 17 yards. Under 2 minutes to play, 1st and goal, Clemson. Harper throws, batted down, incomplete. That was Eric Haig, the left corner.
Well, he's right here. He's coming on the blitz just free, and watch him get up in the air and snuff that ball. And Kelly was open inside the 5-yard line.
He was, and Hag did a great job, though, of hiding behind his defensive end. I don't think Cullen Harper ever saw him. He thought he had a clean throwing lane.
10th play of this drive as the Cornhuskers show blitz.
Yes, they do.
Harper takes a glance at the sideline. Play clock to 12. Harper steps back in shotgun. Play clock to 6. The snap's away. Pressure. Harper's in trouble. In trouble and down at the 27-yard line.
Hag again. Another huge play as Carl Pelini. He doesn't dial up. He goes Wi-Fi for these last 2 plays.
Dabo Swinney telling Cullen Harper right now, you just can't take the sack right here. Do something with that football. You saw the blitz coming. Hag twice in a row, this time coming from the front. Cullen Harper had to see him the whole time. Got to get rid of that ball. You can't take the 20-yard loss or 15-yard loss, whatever it was in this situation.
How about Hag trying to bring down a guy that outweighs him by about 30 pounds? But that is Bo Pelini's M.O.
Defense.
And Carl Pelini's M.O. And you know that Anthony up in heaven looking down at his 2 boys saying, way to go. Bring that blitz.
And that's about as close to exuberance you're ever going to see from Bo Pelini. I think Carl Pelini right next to him right here, he's the one that's got a little bit more of the pizzazz, the emotion when he gets excited.
Well, he's the older brother telling the youngster what, no. Hey, Bo Pelini's the head coach.
You know, now you've got 3rd and 26. You got 2 downs to get to the end zone. You got to get to the end zone. It's 3rd and goal at the 26.
It is.
So get half of it here if you're Cullen Harper.
Clemson use their final timeout. Harper, shotgun. Good protection. Pedals back up over the middle. Incomplete. Spiller had it, but two Huskers were hanging on his back.
Matt O'Hanlon, who had the unfortunate personal foul penalty, atones for that with this play right there.
Wow.
Just came over the top of Spiller on the post route out of the backfield, attacking that too deep. Great reaction by O'Hanlon.
Well, Clemson got exactly what they wanted, that too deep, and they had Spiller running right down the middle of the field. It was a good throw by Colin Harper. Maybe
Clemson has no timeouts. The play clock's running down. They're totally disorganized.
At 4, at 3, what could be the final play? Over the middle, incomplete, and Nebraska holds off Clemson. Jacoby Ford was the intended receiver, and Dan, you're right. There was some confusion on the field on that final play, and Colin Harper took the snap with 3 on the play clock.
They might have been better off taking the delay of game penalty. Move them back 5 yards, be able to huddle up, talk about the proper play you want to call. But even so, if you're hurried like that, your playmaker in this situation is Aaron Kelly. He's 6'5". Let him go up and catch the alley-oop.
I agree 100%. You had 4th and goal from the 26. Big deal if it goes back to the 31. Let that clock run out, and then even if it's a jump ball, you let your big guy go up and try and make a play on it. Let him get those paws on it.
Now we got too many men on the field for Clemson. It's a new kind of prevent defense. Put 12 guys out there.
Illegal substitution defense. 12 men on the field prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Now, Dan, Steve, you have to applaud the rebuilding efforts for both of these schools. Nebraska from the Big 12, Clemson from the ACC. Clemson surviving through a coaching change mid-season. They come under with great comeback and possession under Dabo Swinney. And, of course, Bo Pelini in his first season. Miraculous turnaround for the Cornhuskers. Time now for the DirecTV Player of the Game. And tip your hat to the senior Joe Gans. 19 of 36, 236 yards, and a pair of touchdown throws.
And he did the two things we talked about. He led his team, and he competed. Great turnaround for Gans and this Husker team in the second half after they were thoroughly outplayed by Clemson in the first half.
Well, I think one thing is very, very clear. Both of these schools have the right man in control. I think both these schools, these programs, have a very promising future.
Let's check out the 5-star play of the game, presented by Wrangler.
Well, here it is. Joe Gans tucking up in there. And excuse me, let me take that back. That was the play that Joe Gans was out for, and that was Mr. Witt, who came in, took the hit from Courtney Brown, lost the ball, went to the replay booth, determined that the knee was down before the hit, before the ball came out, and that gave Nebraska the chance to hold on and win this game.
And the final snap, Gans is going to take that football. I don't blame him. The senior closes out his Nebraska career with a 26-21 Gator Bowl win over Clemson. For Steve Berline, Dan Fouts, Craig Bolerjack saying so long from Jacksonville. Our final score, 26-21 Nebraska. Tonight on CBS begins with a Big Bang Theory, followed by How I Met Your Mother, CSI, and 11th Hour. Nebraska scores the 26-21 win, and this has been a presentation of CBS Sports.
Gator Bowl 2009. Big Red Now post-game coverage starts now. Live from Jacksonville, here's Travis Justice.
We will get down to Travis in just a second. Matt Siegel, Rob Zadiska with you. Let's
catch our breath now. Holy cow, what a great game. 26-21, Big Red, big win. They're 9th of the season, and just like that, they are Gator Bowl champions. Take a look. There you go. Quentin Castile, the man of the hour. How about him? 125 yards on the ground, Rob.
You know what? This was a great performance by him. And you know what? Luck, he still hurts. You look at somebody like Helu going down. And this guy really stepped it up. He played great. He held on to the ball, which I know has kind of been a question mark with him all year. Really a great performance by him. He really keyed Nebraska's offense today.
That he did. We will go now down to Jacksonville. Travis Justice standing by live. Trav, how about this one?
Well, it was an exciting game, Matt, especially after a slow first half defensively. I'm going to step out of the way as the trophy presentation is taking place. Bo Pelini just got done talking to the Husker faithful. Well over 20,000 as the trophy goes up in the air. The seniors and the Nebraska team take the stage and hoist up the Gator Bowl trophy. And Joe Gans has just been named the Gator Bowl Most Valuable Player for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This is quite a celebration for this team that has been through so much, Matt. Of course, last year, the disappointing losing season in which they lost their head coach at the end of the season. This time last year, they were kind of up in arms, not really knowing what to expect. Bo Pelini had been hired. He went back to LSU to finish coaching with LSU, and then really hit the ground running, recruiting, and then with spring ball, and really got this team to believe and buy into his system of what they were trying to accomplish. Of course, it was a slow start to the season, losing at home to Virginia Tech, the tough loss at home to Missouri. But it was really the last 3 games after Nebraska got blown out at Oklahoma where Bo Pelini sat this team down and said, it's a 3-game season. And with 3 games, this team really rallied together to make something happen. Beating Kansas State, and then ending the season with a win over Colorado. Nebraska finishes the year with 9 wins. And Bo Pelini, as the head coach of the Nebraska football team, wins his 2nd bowl game. Not bad for a guy who's just in his first year of coaching. Of course, he won the 2003 Alamo Bowl, and then the 2008 Gator Bowl. We plan to have lots of post-game coverage for you coming up as the players start to leave the field. Niles Paul coming over. Niles, can we talk to you really quick? Yeah. Niles Paul joining us. I know you got to get to the locker room, Niles, but talk about the emotion, especially trailing at halftime, coming in and get the victory.
It was crazy. I mean, it was some ups and downs in the game, definitely some ups and downs, but we came out victorious, and everybody on this team is excited. We deserve this win.
Been through a lot in the last year.
Definitely been through a lot, but we came back and showed everybody that we can play with the best.
Thanks, Niles. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Again, Nebraska victorious over the Clemson Tigers, 26-21. We're going to get some more interviews for you right now, Matt. I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Trav, sounds great. We'll be waiting for Dabo Swinney, Bo Pelini, both to take the coach's podium. We'll get some players for you in just a few minutes. But first, let's relive this game in just a matter of moments. It's highlight time. We will go first. Obviously, starting out of the gates, the Huskers fired up for this one down at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. Great crowd on hand, but it would be mostly Clemson off the bat after Joe Gans connects with Todd Peterson, but they can't convert a 27-yard hook up there, but nothing doing. The Tigers get the ball back, and Ty Steinkühler, just a fabulous performance out of Steinkühler. And the rest of the black shirts, we'll touch on that in a little bit. Special teams early on going the way of the Tigers. CJ Spiller, Rob, chime in here. This punt return was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and you know what? Most of it right off the bat there was all Spiller, and you got a guy who's a great athlete, good quickness, good speed, very elusive overall. He really made the most of that. They really didn't out-kick the coverage. It's just great athletes.
That he is second quarter now. The Tigers set up for a field goal, but Ndamukong Suh, the big monster, blocks, so we stay scoreless 3 minutes into that second quarter. Look at him get the big paw. Kind of a lousy kick to begin with, but still great execution on the defensive end. 5 minutes left now in the second quarter. Huskers thinking option, and DeAndre McDaniel gets right in the way of that one. Holy cow, 28 yards the other way. Clemson on the board first, but Big Red would look to answer. It will be Joey Gans. Last game in his college career, in trouble, but just a total gamer at all times. He's mentally set up a field goal to make it 7-3. It would be 14-3 at the break, but right now, Trav's got some more activity on the field. Trav, who are we talking to now?
Standing by now with assistant coach Ted Gilmore. And coach, what a year it's been for you. You were a holdover from the last staff, a lot of emotions. Talk about this bowl victory.
Well, it's awesome. I don't think everybody truly appreciate what took place. Bo, the staff, the players that did a tremendous job, because you're talking about changing a mindset, talking about changing an attitude, and to get that done in such a quick fashion is a credit to everybody that's involved.
Down 14-3 at the half. What was the difference in the second half of this team?
Well, we just came out and tried to settle down and tried to execute. I think the speed of the game kind of caught us off guard a little bit, but we just had to adjust. We just had to make plays and do what we've been trained to do.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. Quentin Castile coming in, and I tell you what, Quentin, you had an unbelievable second half.
Oh, thanks, man. At halftime, the coaches told us to just come out and just play. That's all we had to do. And I congratulate my linemen all the time. They blocked real good today, and can't get no word out those big guys.
Did you guys feel you just wore Clemson down in the second half?
Yeah, a little bit. Coach Stockton and I are like our conditioning. I mean, we condition. I think we condition more than any team in the nation. And coach is telling us in the middle of the third quarter, you're like, man, they're getting tired. Just come out there and we just need to run. We just need to run. And I start cramping up a little bit, but I mean, that was just from me not getting hydrated. But coach just told us to go out there and just dominate.
All right, Quinn, congratulations. Enjoy this one.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
26-21, Nebraska celebrating here in Jacksonville. We're waiting for Zach Potter to come. Of course, the senior from Omaha Creighton Prep. Just a fabulous game. Zach's gone inside. We plan on talking to him before this day is over. We got a lot of post-game coverage for you, lots of highlights, and of course, Rob Zadiska with more of his diagnosis. We'll send it back to the studio.
Yes, he's filling prescriptions as we speak. We will get to the diagnosis in just a little bit. A quick note about Quentin. 119 of the Huskers' 126 rushing yards today. It's just what happens when you get a big bruising back in there, which is what Castile is compared to Helu and Lucky. Picking this up now in the third quarter, the opening drive, it's Gans seeing Nate Swift, an 18-yard touchdown, cuts the deficit to just 4 points, 14-10. Then the Tigers go 3 and out. Niles Paul, though, we just heard from him, muffs the punt, kind of an up-and-down day. The Tigers would recover this ball, improve their field position. A lot of short fields all afternoon long for Clemson. Then it's Cullen Harper seeing Jacoby Ford. That's a touchdown. Great ball, by the way. 21-10. Clemson now back up 11 points. The Huskers, then they go to the ground, and here's where Castile starts to get cooking. 58 yards, Rob.
Well, and I think he's one of those guys, if he gets past that first level, he's gone. You're not going to be able to untackle him.
Much faster than a lot of people saw throughout the regular season. We like that. And then it's Gans again, this time his other buddy, Todd Peterson. Again, it's down to a 4-point ball game. Now, the ensuing Tiger drive, Harper goes in the air, the pass goes in the air. Ty Steinkuhler again with the big play. Big pick leads to a field goal, and it's just a 1-point game. Bo always getting fired up now. Down there doing a little bowl business. The Tigers struggling again. Another punt block. This time it's Ricky Tenars getting a hand on it. And just like that, the Huskers, another short field goal. It leads to Alex Henry's third field goal of the game and the Huskers' first lead of the game, 23-21. Then in the fourth, it's Castile again. Off to the races. This one would lead to another field goal, making it 26-21. The Huskers out-rushing Clemson 126-51 on the day. Again, going back the other direction. Clemson trying to do something down the stretch. Here you go now, second and goal, and a big-time sack. It's Eric Hagg getting into the backfield, penetrating, and down goes Cullen Harper. Bo chomping on his horse right now. And then at the very end, your final play of the game for Clemson, not happening. Bo Fiss, he's a happy man. It's a Husker win, 26-21. Let's get back down to Jacksonville. Trav, you got somebody else with you.
I got assistant coach Ron Brown with me, Matt, and coach. An emotional game, being down at halftime. What a second half performance.
This game really epitomized the season that we had and what this team was supposed to be all about. We talked a lot about resiliency. That word has been used a lot, and the ability to pop back into shape when your world gets crushed. And these kids went through a lot the last few years, and with the new coaching staff coming in, and it started off at the 6 a.m. workouts and winter conditioning, and I think a lot was learned during the season. We had some tough games this year, Oklahoma, Missouri blowouts. These kids could have folded the tent. But I thank God that they just kept coming back.
I was going to ask you, have you ever seen a team grow so much from maybe the first game of the season to where it is now?
Well, Well, we knew that we were like 3-year-olders. Every now and then there was something in there. There was a potential in there, but it's gaga goo goo for a little bit. But they began to use big words as the year went on. And so I thank the Lord again for the stability of this team, the foundation that was built. And we're not done yet. I mean, this is a good thing, but I mean, this is just a taste of what we really want. And so we've got some improving to do. There's some areas that we can get better in, but this is a great first start, and it's a nice time to celebrate.
Satisfying. Now you got to get on the road and start recruiting.
Yeah, well,
keep building.
Yeah, we do. You got to keep at it. There's not a lot of time to lay off, but I do think it's a great time to be thankful and thank God for what happened in a lot of men's lives. It wasn't just on the football field, but it was off the field, and the chemistry and coming close together, and a bunch of grown men, a bunch of coaches that have been fired and fried, died, and laid to the side, so to speak, and getting back together and understanding what it means to pull together. So again, I just give the credit to the Lord Jesus Christ, and our chaplain Matt Penland did a great job with helping to unify a football team around the cause of Christ. It was just a lot of great things that happened this year.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Go enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Yep. Our live post-game coverage, Big Red Now Gator Bowl special, will continue live from Jacksonville after this break. We'll be back.
It's a game of inches.
Big Red Now Gator Bowl post-game continues. Dabo Swinney, Clemson head coach, on the podium.
But that's part of it. But I'm really proud of what this team has done this year. It's not the finish that we wanted, but I'm so proud of this team. They didn't quit. They fought like they've done all year long. They fought to the last play. Converted a big fourth down, and had a chance to win it right there on the last play. Had a chance the last two plays, and we just don't get it done. So that's football. But again, you got to give Nebraska a ton of credit. But I love this football team. Always will. As I said, we win or lose. There's 364 more days in 2009. We got a lot of work to do. I'm extremely excited about the young players coming back and moving forward, and spring practice and recruiting and all those things that we got to do. Finishing out the staff, and I'm excited about that. But I'm going to miss these seniors. Man, what a great group of kids we have. I mean, just going to miss them tremendously. Great group that have really, I think, set a great foundation for us to build.
All right, we're through with Dabo for the time being. Let's go back down to Jacksonville in just a moment. But first, Dabo was talking about his team and the, missing opportunities, 4 sacks and all that stuff. Now we're going to go straight back down to Travis, I'm being told. He's standing by in Jacksonville on the field.
I'm at a coup, maybe an exclusive. I don't know what to call this, because the head coach never shows up to do these one-on-one interviews. Bo Pelini with me, and wow, that's all I can say, wow.
Yeah, we make it hard, but it was a shame. We played pretty well in the first half, especially defensively, and we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. When it had started off every time it seemed like we got some momentum, we gave it back to them, and but our kids just showed character and heart and kept fighting, and we were able to win the football game. And it's pretty hard to win the game when you give up that many scores, that many things happen to you as far as turnovers and that type of thing. But our kids showed character and fortitude, and I'm proud of them.
I was going to tell you, 21 of their 20 of their points comes off turnovers. How frustrating was that for you?
Oh, it's pretty frustrating, we played really well defensively, and offensively we did a lot of good things at times. We just made some mistakes. I mean, they're good. That's the #1 defense in the ACC. They're a good football team, and but it's just like Joe's done all year. He made some mistakes and bad things happened to him, and but he was able to overcome it. And just like I said all year, he's kind of like the heart of the football team, and it's just the way it went, and we were able to win the football game.
You give Joe credit, but your defense really came up big. Ty Steinkuhler had a big first half. Ndamukong Suh had a huge second half. And your defensive backs towards the end just made big plays.
Yeah, we mixed it up on them. We made them, we mixed up coverage and pressure, and we played well. It all starts up front. Our kids up front have been doing it all year long, and they did it again today.
You've avoided talking about it, but you've had an unbelievable week with the passing of your father, and you wanted this one for the seniors. Is it hard to sum it all up?
Really is. It was a difficult week, and I need to just take some time off now, but it was good. I'm glad it ended the way it did, and I know my dad was looking down on us today.
Was that Gatorade shower the best shower you've ever had?
Yeah, I'll take it any day. I hope I get another one next year.
You know, Coach Brown talked about, this is nice, but you're not satisfied yet. This is just the beginning of the process.
No doubt. But it was important, I thought, for our football program to keep the momentum going. And I told the seniors, I said, they'll be remembered for a long time because they said they started firming up a foundation for the future, and I'm proud of them.
Coach Pelini, thanks a lot, and good luck. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Head coach Bo Pelini as Nebraska celebrates its win over Clemson in the Gator Bowl. We'll take another timeout. This is the Big Red Now. Gator Bowl post-game special live from Jacksonville on your Action 3 News station. Welcome back to Jacksonville and our Big Red Now Gator Bowl post-game special on your Action 3 News station. I'm Action 3 News Sports Director Travis Justice, joined now by Todd Peterson, who had a 19-yard touchdown pass in the second half. And Todd, the slow start offensively in the first half, how frustrating was that for you guys?
Oh, it was frustrating. There's a lot of adjustment that needed to be done to their speed. We weren't used to seeing that because we haven't played for so long. We've been going against our scout guys, but they're a great defense, and we came out and we struggled a little bit, but we kept our heads on straight, and we came out in the third quarter and made some big plays when we needed it.
You got the Grand Island faithful up there supporting you, don't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of people from hometown in Grand Island here. I guess the senior high marching band played today, or played in the parade or something, so there's probably a lot of people here from Grand Island. Gotta love them.
You graduated in December. You get the bowl win. Your whole career, you walked on. You overachieved. You did good things, but wins and losses didn't come probably like you thought. Is this the right way to finish it up?
Oh, definitely. There's nothing more you can ask for. A big bowl win against a great team on January 1st. It's the best way you can go out.
This senior class, and I've talked about it, was one of the most highly recruited. Was this an important victory to leave the legacy of the rebuilding project that you guys started 4 or 5 years ago?
Oh, definitely. We've been through a lot of things. It's been a roller coaster ride. Like you said, we didn't get all the wins we wanted or we thought we could have gotten or had the talent to get, but we made a commitment last January when we started this all over that we were going to work hard, we're going to do it right, and we're going to finish this the best we could, and I think we've done a pretty good job.
Todd